because of the redistrict. Oh my God! Because of the redistricting. Oh my God! I thought that I was. I'm sorry, YouTube. They couldn't hear nothing. Sorry, guys on YouTube. Um, how do you say it? Did I say it right? Redistricting.
Redistricting.
Yes, redistricting. I sound like an idiot saying it. So
Redistricting.
yeah, that
Redistricting.
redistricting.
I do want to ask a question, Dana, well, to everyone, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
How is this American Eagle thing? How did it become a racist thing?
How did what?
The American Eagle. So the lady made a what was that? What's her name? I can't remember her name right now.
Sweet,
So she said it must be the
Sweeney.
genes. Yeah, Sweeney. She made a whole commercial, and American Eagle said it must be the genes, or we got good genes, or and whatnot. And she was making a reference to the jeans that she was wearing, but people was making it seem like she was talking about good white jeans.
Why do you care?
Well, that's in the title. So I was wondering about it because it says Cincinnati, Texas, and American Eagle.
Yeah,
Do I
so
really care?
Oh,
that was trending, Judge. But have you heard of the viral thing that happened with that?
what? I'm saying, yeah, but who cares?
Well, you must.
Somebody wants to
No,
call.
no, no. Okay, so here's the thing. American Eagle is a apparel company, and they had an advertisement of this young white girl. She's attractive, and it's like a sexy ad, and she's saying Sweeney has great jeans, Jeans. But the left and all the woke people were saying, "Oh, that's a racist ad, and they're promoting white
Oh,
supremacy
I know.
because."
That's what I'm saying. To get caught up in the trivia indicates you've got no business worth taking care of. See, I've known that when I practiced law, cross-examining a witness, going to do an investigation, whether I was defending, prosecuting, or presiding. You to get off in that trivial stuff, you have no point. So we need to stop focusing on people with no business and a lot of time on their hands because they haven't a clue as to what they ought to be focusing on. I mean, anybody can talk smack about anything ranging from somebody's mama to the way the weather is going and whether you like it or not, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, I mean,
True, but um, so because this whole debacle went viral, American Eagle they issued a statement basically saying we're sticking by this model and our ad, and telling people to go get these jeans and their
good,
stock, yeah, their
good,
stock went up over 30%.
good,
And
good.
Lizzo came out with her own.
Well, the fat Hogzilla. Who cares what Hogzilla's done? Go find a movie for that big fat thing and go put her in a puddle of mud somewhere with the hippos.
But Judge, she lost a lot of weight.
I don't care. She still looks like a hog. I saw the commercials, the thing she did. She still looks like a hog. And if she put some clothes on, it wouldn't be so bad. But she insists on running around showing it to us. So I suppose if you're showing it on purpose, you want somebody to comment. She looks like a hog. She looked like a lard hog. Now she is trimming down to look like a bacon hog. It's unattractive. It looks gross.
Your
And
Honor,
it's
if she
not
gonna be
something you should look at before you eat because you might lose your appetite.
well, Your Honor, you make more money off your barbecue sauce by her being a hoe.
Yeah, I know. Put some on there. Maybe there's a freak somewhere that would like to lick it off or cook her up a little bit, you know? But
Anything else,
anyway,
Corey, with the American Eagle?
No,
Because
I just wanted to get somebody take on it. I was trying to figure out what the big hoopla, what they was mad about. They always mad about some type of shit, and it's always something.
Well,
Yeah,
and
smile, fool.
I
Get
think
your
that's the
act together and get something going on, and maybe you can smile instead of always running around mad about something that ain't nothing to be mad about. Because the real deal is you have messed your own life up, and you're trying to find something desperate to explain why you ain't getting nothing like you want to get because you didn't work at it. You didn't do your homework. You won't show up for your job. You won't stay when you're supposed to. You don't do what they tell you to do, and you take too many damn penitentiary chances, so it can't be you. It's got to be the system is racist and after you. Yeah, I get it.
well,
Been
and
getting it for a long time.
I think the real takeaway for the real thing that's impressive about this whole situation is, like you're saying, not that they get mad, because I mean you can't go an hour, let alone a day, without some leftists being mad about something. The real thing that was encouraging about this is that American Eagle didn't cave. Sydney Sweeney hasn't issued an apology, and it seems like we're finally getting past that point where just everyone's where companies are just going to bend to the whims of the squeaky wheel. Maybe we can get back to making good movies even again, because I'm tired of all the milk soap
Let me
movies
also throw
getting
that
out.
on it while we talking about American Eagle real quick. Y'all remember decades ago the infamous Calvin Klein ad with Brooke Shields? Yeah, please, somebody got to be in my age group or older.
I saw that. Wasn't this American Eagle one basically a play on that? Because
Yes, that's what I said. I said, where are they getting this Hitler white supremacist? They're copying from Calvin Klein from back in the day.
Well,
So
remember they had a whole problem with the monkey in the jungle, H&M, and that was all the way in England, and they had a problem with that. And they were mad. They did that on purpose, and it was subliminal, or it was a dog whistle or something. So
yeah, but see,
yeah,
that was more direct because you had a monkey. This is a girl, a young girl. Yes, she's blonde. To me, she's too
wait,
skinny. But
what you mean they had a monkey? I'm sorry,
you
David.
said
What you mean they had a
H&M
monkey?
with the monkey thing.
can I
Yeah, well,
throw
it
in
was
my 2 cents?
on the shirt. On the shirt, it said the smartest monkey or something in the playground or something like
Oh, and the
that. I got
little
to look
black
it up.
boy was the model.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is different because that it does have some historical sentiments, but black people
Wait
being
a minute.
called
Hold
monkeys.
on. Time out. Time out. Do you mean to tell me that if somebody had a monkey on a T-shirt, there's colored folks that would automatically assume it's referring to them?
Um,
I don't want my
That's what
can
grandchild
I
being a
happened.
can I
monkey.
jump in just for a second?
Go ahead.
Oh well, Naomi Campbell has great genes, and so does Halle Berry. I mean, if we're just throwing out great genes,
I
so
agree.
hot people have
Yeah.
great genes. Yep, exactly.
Agree too, but can't we
Right,
ever
and
have
that's
a
what I'm
white
saying.
person in an ad without people raising hell about it or bitching? I mean, come on, guys.
Uh-huh.
Get a life.
These people are hate demons. Y'all know that.
Um,
I know it. They need to get a life. They got no business. They're ugly. Nobody wants to deal with them. They can't get close to anybody. Their breasts stink. They can't think of anything. Their vocabulary is limited. If you put something in for the fifth grade, they talk about it. You're trying to use big words. I mean, come on.
well, before I go to Duncan, can we just swing back to the monkey thing, Judge? I would be kind of sensitive having my child wear a monkey T-shirt.
Well, I mean, look, the monkeys are cute. We go to see them in zoos, and they star in movies, and they jump around on chains while the organ grinder is turning his organ, the hand organ. Uh, monkey see, monkey do.
Monkeys are
They're
cute,
distant relatives and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, come on.
but it's not okay. So, but when you look at football, and I'm talking about in Europe football, their version of football, the black players will have bananas thrown at them, and then they'll be making monkey sounds in a crowd. So the monkey thing does have a racist echoing sentiment behind it.
Yeah. And Pele was the highest paid athlete in the world at the time he was playing. And he was most dark, and he was from South America. And he was very famous. So when they threw bananas at him, were they getting mad or degrading him or just jealous because he was the best there was? I mean, come on.
Yeah, yep. They're
People
always going to
hate
try and bring him
everything.
down.
Folk hate straight men. They hate straight women. They hate gay men. They hate gay women. Everybody hates everybody. So, I mean, that's being human. Get over it. Somebody's going to dislike you just if you succeed in doing whatever the devil you choose to do. Somebody will dislike you. Sometimes there's good cause because some people are real ass son of a bitches, but I mean, it gets over. Like there's a video out there, old grown fat woman sitting up there upset because somebody mentioned mama, and hers apparently died in February, so she's going off at a young man works at Walmart, cussing him out, acting a fool, dispensing the N-word. It's on KWAM, which is a local station in Memphis, or Hell Channel 5, which is the MSNBC station. And some people are trying to defend it, and the bottom line is so what? Get over it, woman,
But
and act like you got some sense instead of acting a big fool to make yourself look like something that needs to be talked about.
well, before I go to you, Corey, real quick, the order is Corey, Duncan, Nancy, B. Wayne, Irvin, Gibson. So, Corey, I'll give you the last word, being that you brought up the American Eagle. Then I'm gonna go to Duncan.
I mean, I'm not going to say too much from what the judge said. I think that everybody has a problem with something. When you up, they have a problem with it. When you're down, they have a problem when they want to kick you when you're down. They want to keep you down. They want to find something that's gonna play off your emotions, and they're doing a good job with it, with everything that you're supposed to be outraged about. Every single thing. You can't even let alone make a joke about something without somebody being offended by something. And so it goes down to that we can't even have real conversations. When in all actuality, I'm looking at the commercial and I'm like, what is the problem? She's talking about the jeans that she's wearing. How is this a problem? But a lot of the time they want to control what you're supposed to feel and how you're supposed to feel. And if you don't, then they try to call you colorful names. But I'm gonna go ahead and land there.
Go ahead, Duncan.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask again because the judge is on stage. He wasn't on stage when I asked at first. But Judge, did you hear about the Finkel situation? Jonathan Finkel?
Relative to what?
Well, he's a white supremacist, a self-admitted white supremacist. He shot a black jogger around about 5 days ago, 6 days ago. He was jogging. He took his rifle out and shot the jogger. And when he got arrested, he stated he issued a statement that his motive was because he was a black jogger.
Well,
He shot him.
that happens. Sometimes it's the person that gets shot, the motive for shooting them is they're Japanese. Sometimes the motive they're Native American. Sometimes the motive they're Italian. Sometimes they're Irish. Sometimes they're English. Sometimes they're Yoruba. Sometimes they're House of Fulani. Sometimes Bantu. Sometimes because they are uh, anything on the planet. Slav, Russian,
Yeah.
Ukrainian,
But
it doesn't make any difference. It happens.
without conflating this issue and dealing specifically with this issue, I'm saying that he said that now if he would have shot him for any other reason you mentioned, that would be just as wrong. But just to deal with this issue without conflating it, and I think it is serious that he did that. Now I will congratulate law enforcement. They did something that I was kind of surprised that they did. They took it serious, and they said that this is a hate crime. and they said they will prosecute him under the hate crime laws, which is
I
great.
think
I
hate
have to
crime laws are
commend them for that.
lousy because they set up a
I
situation to
disagree. I
destroy the
disagree. I
First
disagree.
Amendment. Somebody got murdered. The death penalty for a planned, plotted out, deliberate, intentional, cold blooded murder is the death penalty in most states. That's as it should be. So some people are against that. Whether or not it deters the commission of crime, I don't know. I can't say that it does. I've ordered the death penalty on people convicted and signed the paperwork, but it doesn't do much good. I've been there, seen that, done that. Death penalty
Who
is
came
what
up
it
with the
is,
hate crime
and the
laws? Who
fact that
came
it
up
is
with
a
it?
hate crime, somebody doesn't like somebody to go kill somebody unless it's a spur of the moment situation. So I don't see the point with hate crime. All that does is set up a category of future discrimination, because every single hate crime that has ever been on the books backfires in about a decade, because it starts being used and abused, and it says certain categories of people are weaker than others, which is okay if you're talking about children. You don't necessarily have to put that as a hate crime, but to say black folk are weaker than anybody else, Chinese folk are weaker than anybody else, so you have to specially protect them, is to me the height of absurdity. If you do
Well,
something,
I got to say that that's callous, Judge, and the reason I say that because it's not like mano a mano, right? We're talking about a history of government sanctioned atrocities, where the
well,
government
the
said it
government
was.
doesn't sanction
Well,
it.
I'm saying if I can finish, if I could at least like finish my thought. A history of government sanctioned atrocities where the government said it was good business to practice slavery. The government said it was good business to enforce Jim Crow. So you are talking about a racial hierarchy. Now, if you are not living in reality and you want to dismiss that, fine. But in reality, we're living in a country that has a history of a racial hierarchy. Now, there is a power dynamic, regardless if you acknowledge it or not. That's it's obvious. We live in a country that have a history of different racial power dynamics, and so like I said, I have to commend the white law enforcement officer that got up there and said that this was a hate crime. I was surprised because usually white people are callous. They don't really see the value in black people's lives. Um, and I commend them for doing that. But I respect your opinion
Well,
too. I disagree with you adamantly, but I do respect your
let me tell
opinion.
you why I
That's
have it.
why I asked you what you thought
Think
Let
we'll
me
be
about
back.
that.
have
Y'all
it.
on
Let me tell
live.
you why I have it. It's been 160 years ago since that was a reality. In about 10 years, there will be no racial majority in this country. Everybody
My
will be
mother
a
grew up in
minority.
Jim
All right,
Crow. My
hold
mother
on,
grew up in Jim Crow.
bear with me. There are enough of black elected officials right now to do anything necessary about ending the problem on an official basis, which does not exist anyway. But those Negroes, those colored folk that are elected to represent black folk, have been representing rainbow folk instead of black folk. And we don't have
I agree
representation
with you on
because
that.
every one of those low SOBs needs to be turned out of office that does not deal with actually representing the constituency they claim to be representing. That's the problem. We've got a bunch of hustling crooks, pimps, who sit there and pimp their black constituents so they can get in and represent rainbow constituents. That's what the real
100%.
problem is. But that's their business. If they're rainbow, that's smart politics. So, I mean, more power to them. If the black folk are insisting on remaining Negroes and being dumb about how politics runs, that's their fault. And they get exactly what they deserve because they elect these people that get in office and say, to hell with them, I'm in here to hustle, see what I can do to pimp the public and steal money, embezzle, wrongfully appropriate funds, and get a lot of money for the Rainbow Club that they joined up with, because they do the 6B routine: unbelt, drop britches, drop boxes, bend over, spread butt cheeks, get boy banged, and they're happy as they can be. That's their right to do it, but we're not getting represented because
damn near every SOB up in there claiming to be Black Caucus is also a member of the Liberty Caucus, which is the LGBTQIA plus caucus. So what representation are we getting? Everything that needs to be done is in place, except the people that are holding the offices are not there to represent the people that are complaining. But we insist on voting for a party that is responsible for slavery in the United States, promoted slavery in the United States, tried to reinforce slavery in the United States, fought one of the bloodiest war the U.S. has ever been in to protect slavery, and then after it was over, came up with another 100 years of racist Jim Crow segregationist acts and fought like devils to resist any kind of civil rights acts, voting rights acts, or equalization in opportunity in the country. And now we are staunchly behind them. And anybody that's got the sense to say politics is not about loyalty, it's about results, I'll shop and see what kind of results. They're supposed to be Negroes and sellout because they don't vote for the old slave masters who now are pushing rainbow instead of cotton. It's a shame. Now, that's where we are right now, and we got to come up with hate crimes to pacify the Negroes because we aren't representing them. We have somebody else that's paying us, and we really represent because we're part of the new movement, part of the new cult, but we want the Negroes to put us in office so we can go do our thing. That is profoundly stupid. But we do it.
Duncan, anything else before?
I agree with the judge. I just think the judge is biased. And the reason why, because I agree with him wholeheartedly about the Democrats and the LGBT taking up too much space in politics. I agree with him. But I listen what people do not say. He's making it like it's partisan, right? He's not mentioning the log cabin. What those are, the log cabin Republicans? It's like a bunch of gay Republicans running
Yes,
around because
they
they said the
are.
log. But why you didn't mention them though?
What
Like
have
that's
to? You
crazy.
know about them. But they're not
I
the
know, but
whole
I'm saying
damn
like,
party. They're not the
yes sir. But what
entirety
I'm
of the Black Caucus. It's supposed to be representing the black folk. They're not like everybody in the Black Caucus joining the LGBT caucus. They're not like the head. Wait a
well,
minute.
all I'm trying to
They're
say,
not
Judge.
like the
Okay, go ahead.
head of the Black Caucus's reparations committee being Steve Cohen from the 9th District in Memphis. He's white, he's gay, and he's Jewish. And that's who runs the Black
Hmm.
Caucus's reparations committee. Now, come on. Give me a
Yeah, no, I'm
break.
agreeing with you on. I'm agreeing with you
Okay,
on that.
but the point is,
My only, if you let me say that, if you let me say it, my only disagreement is that I don't think that corruption is partisan, right? I'm not for either party. I've been a registered independent since I was in 12th grade, right? I've never been a Democrat. I've never been a Republican. Period. I grew up like that. I campaigned for Earl Hilliard, and I campaigned for Paul Hubbard when I was a child. I grew up, I campaigned for Republicans and Democrats. So I've never been that, like, you're preaching to the choir basically on that.
okay, fine.
But
I
what I'm saying,
apologize. I apologize.
yes, sir. But what I'm saying is that politicians themselves are crooked. They're selfish. They're all about themselves. And that's with Democrats and Republicans. Now, black people do vote. You know, a lot of black people do vote Democrat, but you know, I got to acknowledge what happened during the Southern Strategy, right? What happened with the Southern Strategy? All the Republicans went to Democrats, and the Democrats went to Republicans. They started seeing the Republicans as people who was going to bring, I mean, the Democrats is people who was going to bring change. I think that's why they do it. I don't agree with them. I don't agree with them. I really don't like how Ricky Smiley, um, a lot of these other people have a lock on our people, and they're paid off by the Democrats. And I really don't like how they talk down our people and manipulate our people into voting Democrat. But I don't want our people to have any allegiance to any party. And when I mean our people, I mean descendants of slaves in the United States. I would rather our people have an allegiance to policies that benefit us. I don't give a damn about the Republicans or the Democrats. And they all could go to hell unless they benefiting black Americans and if they benefiting American, regardless of race.
You know what the
Regardless of
you
race.
know what the answer to hate crime is? Quit buying Nike and Air Jordan and buy some SIG, Smith and Wesson and Glock and
All
plenty of
right.
ammunition.
The F and N, the F and X.
Yeah, plenty of ammunition, plenty of firepower, and you wipe out the hate crime problem, or you defer it. That's why the Russians have an arsenal, the U.S. has an arsenal, the People's Republic of China has an arsenal, Pakistan has one, India has one, Israel has one, Saudi Arabia has one, Egypt has one. Everybody in the world's got one, except we listen to damn fool pacifists who want to drop their britches and bend over, and that's supposed to be the answer to everything. They want everybody to be defenseless. And in Europe, where they post to, look at Switzerland, where it's mandatory everybody have a full automatic weapon in the house, a military pistol, hand grenades, ammunition, etc., and know how to use it. Okay, all the rest
Hey,
of
I want to
Europe
say this,
set
but
up
and then
so it's an
I'm a mute
elitist
up, Judge. I'm
state.
a mute up.
Look up the rest
I'm
of
a mute
Europe.
up.
It's an
I'm
elitist
a mute
thing
up
carried
after I
over
say
from
this,
serf,
Judge.
peasants, lords, and dukes and earls. And it's a shame. So we don't live in a place like that. Arm up, and you won't have to worry about hate crimes because it'll be a deterrence to any damn fool who wants to commit suicide going out and getting splattered all over the place because he picked the wrong would-be victim. Now,
And
that's what we need to do.
I hear you. I hear you, Judge. I hear you. All I want to say is this: we need that across the board. If we're gonna do it like that, I think they should get rid of reservations for Native Americans. There's no need for them to have reservations. Like we're saying, forget hate crimes. We don't need to reparate without, blah blah blah. If we don't need nothing specific for Black Americans, we don't need nothing specific for Native Americans, and they shouldn't be a protected group either. Because if you go out there and you shoot them on their reservations, yeah, you will get charged with a hate crime. And I believe the feds might arrest
Well,
you.
hold
You
on.
would know better because
They
you're a
might
judge,
arrest you.
but
You have to understand. My grandmother
yeah,
was a
they will arrest you.
Choctaw,
Yes,
and I
sir.
am
Yes, sir.
technically an Indian myself. It ain't about
I know. That's why
somebody
I said
giving
that.
you
That's why I
nothing.
said that I don't agree
Hold on. Let
with
me tell
Native
you what the
Americans having
reservation is.
reservations at all.
We signed peace treaties with the United States government as
That was a
sovereign,
long time ago. That was
independent
a long time
governments.
ago.
And a sovereign, independent government, just like Germany, just like France, just like England, signed a peace treaty with the United States of America. Those nations just happen to be here in the continental United States. They're called Indian nations. And the reservation you're talking about is the residual territory, just like France, England, Germany, Denmark, Switzerland, Finland, etc., Italy, Greece, Turkey, that remain in the world. They are separate sovereign nations and they sign treaties with the U.S. That's recognized in the United States Constitution, where Article 6 says ratified treaties are part of the supreme law of the land, which consists of the Constitution, laws passed to carry out the Constitution, and treaties that have been
So
ratified by
what
the
would be
federal.
the difference between those treaties and Special Field Order 15?
Special Field Order 15, if you're talking about General William Tecumseh Sherman, who was named after
Yes,
an
sir.
Indian
Yes, sir.
chief, that was signed January 16, 1865. That was an order by the military commander of a military district at a place that was at war with the United States. And it said that all freed slave families shall be given one military mule and 40 acres of confiscated rebel land. That was good policy backed up by his
And they
commander,
did not
Ulysses
honor it.
S.
After
Grant.
the compromise, they
That
compromised,
was
and they
backed
did
up
not
by
honor it.
Abraham Lincoln, the Republican House, the Republican Senate, It was revoked
Yep.
when the South was still primarily a military district.
Well,
When the
no, they
Democratic
killed
Johnson
Lincoln. They
signed an
killed
order
Lincoln.
to
They killed
rescind the
Lincoln.
South.
They killed Lincoln and then revoked it.
No,
Let's
that
be
they didn't
honest.
kill him for that. That was a
Well,
crazed
I'm saying,
fool.
but they did it
No, the
after they
South
murdered the
didn't want
president.
Lincoln dead. That was what was saving him. And what
I'm
wound up
just look.
happening
You
is
put words in my mouth. I never
Johnson,
said the South wanted him dead.
Democrat
I said they
president.
only compromised on it. I
Yeah,
said
but
they
the
only
point was
compromised on it after they killed Lincoln. But
that. But the
you left that
point
out for
was
some reason.
that wasn't the purpose. That was a that was a consequence. That was collateral damage to assassinating that president at that time. And who took over was Johnson from Tennessee, who was a
Yep.
Democrat that Lincoln brought in to run as his vice president in the spirit of compromise, because it was inevitable that the Union Army would win the Civil War once they involved the black folk in being part of the U.S. military. And Negro
And I
took
get
over
that.
one
All I'm
third of the
saying,
Union Army
I
by the
get
end of the
that.
war.
All I'm saying, Judge, if they don't want to make good on Field Order 15 and we
Special
can't do
Field
nothing
Order
for Black
15.
Americans, we can't do nothing for Native Americans
If
either. Forget them
Native
treaties,
Americans
and we need
didn't
to end
need
them
anybody to
reservations
do
now.
anything for them. We were taking
I know
scalps and nailing
we
them
got
to
to
the
get rid of them
lodge pole.
reservations. They don't deserve them
Taking
I
reservations.
gotta put
scalps and
go to
nailing
another
them to
speaker.
the lodge pole. And we went and we fought, and we got the same respect everybody else who fought wars against the United States got. You got German cars parked in driveways, BMWs, Volkswagens, Audis, Mercedes Benz, Porsches, you name it. You have Japanese cars, Mitsubishis, Toyotas, Lexus, Infinities, Hondas, all kinds of things. And they fought wars against the United States. You have France that joined in and fought a war that we had to come in on. And we buy French cars and we have English cars because we had to go to war with England to get free of the crown. We've got all kinds of stuff. And the only group that has never had a fight with the United States is the Negro population and the Africans who are over there in continental Africa right now, who've never had a war or a fracas with the US of A. So there is nothing that would cause anybody to respect anybody. They name planes and they name trains and places after Indians. They don't name a damn thing except the
Well, I
boulevard
got to
after
disagree
Martin
with
Luther
you
King
again
and the
because
Wait, one
school
look
second.
here.
after
Hold on,
Booker
hold on
Though
for
I
a
can't
second,
let
Duncan. Hold on.
Dana, please let me say
So
this.
go ahead.
Please, Dana.
Go.
Please, Dana. Because he just sit up here and said that we basically said we were weak.
We are
But it
weak.
was Garfield. Well, I gotta disagree
We
with you
don't
because
have to be, but we are.
President Garfield said that if it wasn't for Black Americans, he would have lost the civil. They would have lost the Civil War, and said that America has a blood covenant with Black Americans. Also, Abraham Lincoln. He said that he would not have been able to win the war if it wasn't for the strength of the black soldiers.
Yes.
So yeah, you are against
I'm
history
not
because
against history.
history
What the
states.
hell
Well,
happened
you just
between
made
the
a false
black
statement.
soldier at the end
Look,
of the
look, we
Civil
don't
War
have to
and this
be enemies.
pathetic bunch
Look,
of weaklings whining
we do
about
not have
white
to be
supremacy
traitors.
right now?
We do not have to be traitors to the United
Excuse me.
States to
What
have
happened
power.
over the last
We don't have to
160
be
years
traitors
where we
to
bought
the
into this
United States to
decadence
have
and we
power.
listened to black exploitation stupidity? And we idolize pimps, hoes, drug dealers, burglars, thieves, murderers, drug dealers, and all kinds of near the wells. And we take penitentiary chances because it's
Well, that
supposed to be
came with the coming
expected.
of the
What
Italian
happened
immigrants.
between
That
black
did
folk?
not happen
Wait a minute.
before the Italian
What
immigrants.
happened between the black soldiers in the Union Army, according to General Ulysses Simpson Grant, commander of the Army, saying the only fully
Somebody who
educated
was
and
not a
literate
president.
groups in the
Somebody.
whole U.S. Army, larger than a company, are colored? What
I heard you
happened to
say that.
that?
I
And
heard you
where
say
we
that.
are right now? What is the degeneracy and why did we go downhill? I'm trying to tell you, we have to
Well,
reverse this
I'm
helpless
trying to answer. I
bullshit
can answer
and
that
start
easily,
Wait,
doing
Judge.
Duncan,
what we
You
can
know what
do.
happened?
Duncan,
You know
Duncan,
what
you gotta
brought
mute
you?
up. Wait,
Okay, I'm a rest. I'm a
yeah, let
rest.
him. You gotta let him
Now,
talk.
that's what we have to do.
All right.
Do it. Take charge, damn it. We just been a bunch of weaklings the last 50 years. We've been glorifying uh, uh, bullshit where we talk about Superfly and we idolize drug dealing and we idolize sick stuff that is pathological in our music.
Well,
What the
Judge,
hell is the matter with us?
isn't Superfly is from your generation though?
Yeah, I know that started it, and that's the same thing where they idolize. I gotta sell me some coke, man. Get me some money.
So, all right.
And now we got it where we sit there and we are so weak. We worry about some star who runs around playing freak, and that's what we idolize as a hero. We talk about basketball as the heroics field. We don't talk about warriors. We don't talk about people who made the stand. We got weak little pulpit pimps like Al Sharpton, and we got fools in Congress who don't give a damn about us, weaklings as hell. We have people like Maxine Wastewater and Jasmine Coonskin and Head Crockett and crap like that that is supposed to be black leadership. What the devil is the matter with us? We haven't had a Malcolm X in the longest time. And half the folk around now don't know who the hell A-Trap Brown was. And we have Johnny Cochran in our background. We've got all sorts of black lawyers who did great things, Thurgood Marshals. And now we have folk who've never even tried a case supposed to be civil rights lawyers that have icon status, that get low settlements and ambulance chase, don't know what the hell they're doing. The hell the devil is the matter with us?
The judge on fire
So
tonight.
1 second, guys. I'm gonna swing back to you, Duncan. I need to get to other speakers. Nancy's not up here anymore. So it's B. Wayne, Irvin, Gibson, Derek, Pastor, and Sway Me. So go ahead, B. Wayne.
Thank you, Dana. I'll try to keep it short. Yeah, the whole hate crime thing, I think it was probably implemented for a reason, but I don't really see the logic behind it or the need for it. I think really people should be tried and convicted on the crime that they commit. Sort of like if you're drinking and driving because you just came from a party, or if you're drinking and driving because you're sad because your dad just died, it doesn't really matter. You're going to get convicted the same. So for the hate crime, I mean, I don't think it's any better if someone kills someone for $5 in their pocket because they couldn't care less about them versus if they do it because they hate the person. So yeah, I kind of agree with Judge Joe Brown that it's kind of a divisive law right there, or distinction, I should say, and I'll land there.
Thank you.
What's divisive? The hate crime bill? Or hate crime laws? Hate crime laws, I guess.
Yeah, I think it is cutting up different groups into different categories that can be tried differently. I think if you do something bad, you should get punished for it.
Well, true, but I look at it to where there were a lot of hate crimes towards Black people, gay people, Jews, Muslims. So I think hate crime laws are necessary because there are people that target specific groups or religion because they hate them. And, so I don't think it's divisive. I think it's necessary, um, because it has happened in the past and, in the present. But I think I think what we see by the certain cases that hit the media, a lot of those are filled with a lot of propaganda, but there are a lot of crimes that will be considered hate crimes that we know nothing about on a local level that is happening. And I don't know if you guys remember in North Carolina where it was students, I think from UNC, but there were Muslim students. They live in an apartment complex, and a white person came and shot and killed them in their apartment because of what? Because you didn't like them, or you claiming that they were playing loud music and they weren't. And that was definitely a hate crime. Their community came out in support and of course in protest. But what the Muslim community did in Chapel Hill and throughout that state and coming together throughout the nation, they push for public policies, but that person was charged under a hate crime plus other things. So that's just one example. But people don't remember
Well,
that.
let me ask you this question. Would you or would you not go to jail if you did the act, whether or not it was a hate crime? You slap somebody upside the head and there's no justification, that's a crime. It doesn't make any difference whether you hate that person because of some ethnic situation or you hate them for a perceived wrong they have done you in the past or you just have a bad attitude that day. You're going to get the same penalty, but the bottom line generally. But the bottom line is, it's a sop to the people that are too damn weak to stand up for themselves in their minds and think of themselves as inferior. That's the problem, really. You're sopping them and saying, okay, we'll protect you. If they slap you upside your full head, that's an assault, or technically it's a battery in real law, okay, and there's a penalty to it, but we'll make you feel better if we call it a hate crime. Now, that is just ridiculous because the wrong is slapping somebody across the head without justification, whatever, irrespective of why it is done. So you just take the opportunity to get some political brownie points. We'll make this minority group feel better by calling this a hate crime if they are involved. Well, you see, the problem is there's always another edge to the sword when it's American law, and it swings one way and cuts to the right. You swing it back to the left, it cuts that way too. And within a decade, they always turn that hate aspect of it around on the people that came up with it and applauded it. Now, I can give you a concrete example. I read the transcript of the trial. I know the pleadings and everything else. Somebody bought a nice house to move into West Hollywood, California. That's in the LA area. He didn't realize how LGBT it was. They wanted him to put a rainbow flag on his front porch. He refused. They started bringing their dogs around to shit on his yard. He was videoing it and complaining nothing was done. They finally brought a large dog up to take a crap on his front porch. He opened the window and said, "What the hell are you doing?" They called him the N word twice. It's recorded. He said the F word back to them. They said the N word 4 more times. He said the F word 2 more times. They ran down to West Precinct for LAPD, swore out a hate crime warrant. And they went to trial. The judge admitted they'd called him the N word more than he'd called them the F word. But because the F word was a hate crime, not the N word, he got a 30-day suspended sentence, a $2,500 fine, 250 hours of community service, 11 months and 29 days probation, and a sensitivity cost the court, the case class that he had to go to that cost him $4,300. And he was one of the people that was pushing for a black hate crime. See, that stuff will flip back on you. It is not something that we needed because it is abused. Anytime you give somebody an advantage like that, you abuse the situation invariably.
All right.
So we just need to deal with the fact that one person is as valuable as another. Our free speech thing says you can call anybody any damn thing you want other than fighting words if the fighting words result in the breach of the public peace. Otherwise, you're on your own. Do what you want to do, except if you overstep, you're likely to get hit with a libel act for defamation of character or slander.
All right.
And that's the way it's been, and it's worked out, and we don't need any of these special things. It's like statute of limitations. In the United States of America, if you accidentally or negligently kill somebody and you have a claim against you, the person that has the claim against you for wrongful death generally has 1 to 2 years for a homicide to file an action against you. But if you pinch somebody's ass, you have a 25 to 50-year statute of limitations where a booty pinch is deemed more serious than killing somebody. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's political correctness, and it's an abomination of the law passed because you're giving a sop out to some people that you're trying to seduce.
All right.
And you likely will pimp them out and hustle money from them if they let you get in office because they think you're going to do something for them.
All right.
Now, I understand the sentiment, but there is no need to have a deviation in the law because it's subject to abuse. Now,
So,
I pass the mic. I've got nothing else to say about it.
all right. So, Gibson is Gibson, Derek, Pastor, Sweeney, and Seal. I don't see Irvin up here. Go ahead, Gibson. Oh, there go Irwin. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I do see Irwin. Did you want to say something, Irwin? I know you spoke earlier. Did you want to say something, or you want to just wait, Irwin? Okay, they're muted. And Seal, can you mute?
Are you talking to me?
Yes. It was your turn to speak? Did you want to say something, Irwin? Okay, I'll come back to you, Irwin. Go ahead, Gibson.
Hi, Dana, you honor. Good to see y'all
Hello.
this evening. Uh, the judge is on fire. I mean, he really putting it out there. I love that. It makes 100% sense what he's saying. I agree with it. Also, and then we have got to be stop being victims. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And on this hate crime, I said it from the beginning when they did it in New York with the Chinese community. I was like, hate crime? Why do we need a certain group of people to have a hate crime order? We don't need that. I mean, if you commit a crime, it's a crime. Simple as that. Use the law, punish those people, and go from that. Don't start grouping people off like the judge said, and then it backfires to cut both ways. So that is crazy. But I really want to talk about what y'all think about this Obama and Russiagate thing. I want to know what people felt about that, and Jack Smith, because I actually went to D.C. and tried to file a warrant on Jack Smith about 4 years ago when he was carrying on from some stuff that he did in the Hague. I filed paperwork, but it didn't go. Now they're investigating him again. So I want to know how y'all this Obama thing and the Russiagate thing. I would just love to hear opinions on that. Thank you, Dana, and the judge.
Well, they got subpoenas for the Clintons. Jack Smith is under investigation. So are they afraid to go after Obama? You know, when the subpoena's going to get to him? So yeah, so I guess this is going not going away no time soon. And this is just the beginning. But go ahead, Judge.
The thing is called grand jury. And grand juries can be convened, but you have to have evidence to present to them sufficient to establish probable cause. There is a thing in America called conspiracy law. You may criminally conspire to do a legal act in a legal fashion, but if you have an agreement to accomplish a criminal purpose, then the whole thing becomes a conspiracy, though it would otherwise be legal. It's a felony, a serious felony. And a classic aim would be to inappropriately influence the outcome of an election. If you are attempting to do that, even if what you otherwise do is totally legal, if you group with other people to accomplish that ends, that is to influence the election by what is a legal means, done in a legal fashion, but you agree that you are going to conspire to do that, that becomes a felony. So that is a matter that needs to be put in front of a grand jury. And any U.S. attorney in one of the multiple districts around the United States of America, in the 10 circuits that we have, can do that. So let's see who comes up with something like that. Like they did the guy that ran the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, that indicted Adams, the mayor of New York,
Mayor Adams.
indicted Diddy. Yeah, Eric Adams, indicted Diddy, and was
Oh,
trying to get
Damien. Yeah.
trying to get an indictment against Trump on the federal level. That same one somebody indicted somebody who had a search warrant served in Florida and a search warrant served in California, but Diddy had to stand trial in New York. Now, you have the same kind of situation. You might get a U.S. attorney somewhere in the United States that says, I don't like it. I'm going to convene a grand jury and we're going to seek indictments because we're going to conduct an investigation and present probable cause to a grand jury who will return a true bill of indictment, and somebody's going to stand trial. And that can happen to Obama. That can happen to Biden, Hunter, Joe, and the whole bunch, because there are other things that Hunter can be charged with. And if not charged with a crime, since he would be immune because of daddy's pardon, then he can certainly be held in custody if he refuses to testify or give evidence against co-conspirators. Now, that's what you do. It's not a matter of whether Bondi is going to arrest somebody or Puru, who got appointed D.C. attorney, is going to do that. It's called a grand jury. And we need grand juries to look into this. And I think when probable cause is attempted, grand juries will return indictments. And by the way, grand juries, once impaneled, do not have to be restricted to what the prosecution brings them. They can conduct their own independent investigation, subpoena witnesses and evidence, and take testimony on their own without a prosecutor even being nearby. So let's see what happens.
Well, I'm waiting because they have prosecuted poor Americans, special black Americans, for running a traffic light, basically. So these hot top end people that have been accused of doing all these things, they need to be held accountable. Someone told me, I was in D.C., where we don't want to do Obama because it's going to cause civil unrest. We don't give a damn. I mean, I don't care. I really don't give a damn. If Obama broke the law, like they chanted like mockingbirds, no one's above the law, not even a former president. So just let that symbol and let's go with it. Like you said, the grand jury, which I heard from a very reliable person that is in Florida. So we're going to see what happens from there.
Yeah, grand juries are a bitch when they get going.
Okay.
Oh, yes. I've had to try some cases where the grand jury jumped somebody.
So we have
Well, a grand jury, not the.
Derek.
Good evening, Judge Dana.
Hey.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just go with the heading y'all got. And I have two comments on it. As far as the Cincinnati brawl, my whole take on this is I believe both parties were at fault at some point, but I feel like that the guy who slapped the other guy, that should have never happened. It looked like it was a one-on-one at first, and then it escalated. Well, it looked like it kind of died out, and then next thing you know, it was like a confrontation. Somebody may have called somebody N-word or whatever the deal was, and then the guy just hauls off and slaps the guy. Now, at that point, he's engaging in battle. Now, a lot of people say, well, it was unfair. They shouldn't have jumped him. It should have been one-on. Well, I agree, but the rule of the jungle is there's no rules. And if I go into a lion den and I piss off a lion, I'm not going to have to just deal with that one lion. I'm going to have to deal with all of them. And so people don't understand the rules, and they always try to make it seem racial. Well, it could have been racial, but it could have been racial on the white guy's part. Why is it always racial on the black people part? And I know we do a lot of, it's a lot of racial bias on both sides, and I've been seeing a lot of ignorant stuff said and done by black people, but it goes both ways. As far as the woman, I do feel like no man should ever hit a woman like that. Now, if you guys paid attention to the video, you would see she was engaging in some extracurricular activity on the sideline with those guys. She should have never been involved with that. She should have put herself in a safe place. She put herself in harm's way, and it turned out bad. But if she was over there kind of slapping, pushing guy back over there on the side. She had no business doing that. She should have just gotten out of the way, because at that point you're in a crowd of people. You don't have a win. And I'm sure there's some tough women out there, but I don't think she was that tough to be able to fight those many people. And so yeah, I'm cool with the arrest being made. I think that all the parties that are guilty and responsible should be arrested. But I haven't seen, unless you guys have, I haven't seen the white guy who initiated, who started this, who slapped first. I haven't seen him being arrested. You know, I just been
You
seeing.
know what? Let me clarify something. When you're talking about civil actions, it's who, as an individual, got wronged by what other individual or what group. Okay? When you're talking about criminal law, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. The primary concern in every single state is reflected on the indictments that they issue for the United States government on the indictments that are issued when the trial winds up in federal court. They say the same thing. Somebody did something against, quote, the public peace, dignity, and order, unquote. If you do it in a lion's den, a living room, that's one thing. If you're doing it out on the streets, it doesn't really make any difference who started it, who did what. The main concern is the maintenance of public peace, dignity, and order in that state where the action is supposed to have taken place, or in the United States generally, if it's a crime against the United States of America. That's the issue. Now, I passed the mic.
I did, and I have one more. I missed some of the, well, a good part of it, Judge, but I
In other
also
words,
have.
the state and the U.S. government has an interest in public order. And when somebody's breaking the public order, the responsibility of everybody is to stop it and restore tranquility. So then you sort out who did what.
I agree with that. I just kind of thought well, I mean, and I guess maybe they'll get to it. Hopefully they'll get to it because justice should be fair on both sides, and
It should.
you know, right. But I agree. My other part comment was on the American Eagle topic, and I feel like they're making it a racial issue, and it really wasn't. I'm really just sick and tired of all this racial tension. I know we're gonna always have racial tension in this country, but it seems like it's at a heightened peak right now, and I'm seeing a lot uh coming from the black side, and I'm a black man, and I think it's fair. I know people get mad and call you sellout and coon on it for saying it, but it's the truth. It's a lot of unwarranted, just kind of just overt racial tension coming from the black side, and they're making a racial issue about everything, and everything is not always based on a racial thing. First of all, white women have been doing jean commercials forever, and it was never a big deal about it. They've been doing jeans commercials forever. And so when they make a commercial, I think that people shouldn't freak out about it. Also, we have Beyonce's been making jean commercials. Nobody made a big deal about it. White people didn't make a big deal about it. Well, at least for the majority, I didn't see many white people making a big deal about her making blue jean commercials. She made multiple ones. So has other black prominent figures. So I'm just sick and tired of seeing everything race, 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 race. And I feel like black people are being led into a race war that they're not prepared for. They have no idea what they're walking into, and it's really terrible because it would be horrible for the country. I just feel like black people have no idea what they're trying to, or maybe what they're being led into. I feel like they're being misled, and it's a lot of poor black leadership, and I think they're being led into something that is not beneficial for the country, and definitely not for us. Uh, with us being a minority race in this country, we're not prepared for anything like that. I don't care how big and bad you think you are, and how many guns you feel like you got, and whatever you got going on. You have no idea what you are heading to if we have a race war in this country. And I want to say this. I feel like everybody should just dial it back, calm down, kind of maybe look at things before you combust and just react and automatically think it's always racism. No, everything is not racism. Every white person, I got a lot of white friends, and every white person is, and it's not in this country, wanting to do bad or harm to black people. They're not sitting around thinking of, all right, yeah, what can we do to piss black people off? What can we do to destroy the black man? It's not happening like that. So I just wish people would just kind of, and I'm speaking specifically with black people too. Please calm down. Stop looking at everything as a racial issue and that all the white people in the world want to take out black people or hold you back or keep you down or take you out or whatever. Because all I'm hearing mostly is black people saying kill all the white people. Well, if I'm white, I'd feel some kind of way too, and I'd be in arms too. So that's all I wanted to say. But I appreciate your input, Judge and Dana.
I just had to
Thank
butt
you.
in.
That
I'm
was well
glad you
said.
said that, Derek. It need to be said. Thank you.
One more
Well
thing.
You're
said.
welcome.
Well said.
So
Thank you.
I would give anybody wanted to reply to
I do,
Derek's
Diana.
statement. I'll give
Real
you
quick.
30 seconds
My
before I get to the
okay,
next
well,
speaker,
I would
Pastor.
like to
gosh, gosh.
also.
All right, seal
Well,
breaker. I would like to speak, Diana.
So,
Dana.
all right, 30 seconds to reply to what Derek was saying.
I do agree somewhat with Derek but the issue is we are playing into there are other people in the background controlling the social narrative between the races. We're all talking about the symptoms, but not the disease. And I think that we all are really reacting, but not really understanding. There are greater forces at work here, political forces that keep stirring the pot in order for political, like the judge said, this is all political. And we are just reacting to things. There's no such thing as entertainment. Start there. Everything is propaganda, whether it could be trying to sell you something or trying to change your mind or infiltrate your mind with certain ideas. And people like to argue. So they don't want to talk about we are dealing with forces beyond ourselves, political forces, as Judge said, that are controlling what we think, how we feel, how we move, how we operate, and how we respond to each other. That's all I have on that topic.
Uh,
I have a pushback as well, Dan, when you
all
get a
right,
chance.
30-second pushback, Duncan. And then I got to go to Pastor.
Yeah, yeah. For him to think that we caught up on race, it shows that he's like he's not paying attention to what we're talking about politically. Um, I'm saying, and a lot of other people are saying that they target us because of our lineage, not because of our race, not because of our skin color, because of our lineage. But if you haven't, like, if you haven't been paying attention to Black Americans conversation, ADOS, FBA Freedmen conversation, you stuck back in the time lapse, right? You thinking that everything based on race. So you really have to catch up your political jargon. Secondly, I just pointed out Jonathan Finkel shot a black jogger. Unless you can point out a black person within the last week, within the last year, because I'm pointing some out within the last week, where a white supremacist stated that that was their motive to target a black American and shoot them while they're jogging, right? So unless you can point out me something like that, man, you just you full of crap. That's a full of crap statement,
They
and you're placating the white
they
supremacists,
have they have
trying to
hold on. They have plenty of crimes where black people are targeting white people every single day.
tell
So
me,
maybe
well,
you
tell me the
must
one.
be
Name one.
maybe
Name
you
it.
must be in.
Name it. Name it.
I don't bro. I can send it to you though.
So you
No no
full of
no. I
shit.
can send them to you. I'm not gonna sit here and name because other people want to talk.
Name
Oh,
list name. I'm
I'll
telling
send
you
it to you,
names.
brother. No problem. I got plenty.
I think
Well,
you're
okay, so
lying.
let
I
me
think you're
so let
lying
me
because
give
you
you an
won't even
example,
say
the
Duncan.
Georgia.
Let me
FBI
1 second,
statistics
Bradman.
on
You
hate
want to
crimes
see what
are
the
up.
deal
You can
is?
look them up for
Wait,
yourself.
hold
You
on for a
want to see
second,
what the
guys.
deal is?
Can I have
Divide
one
one by
example?
360 million and see what kind of little row of decimals zeros you get before you get to a number.
I have an
That's
example
what
for you,
you're talking
Duncan.
about, something statistically insignificant. It happens, but as I said earlier, that's
These
Wait,
humanity.
wait,
nameless
Judge.
black
One
people
second,
y'all
Judge.
talk
Wait,
about.
1 second, Duncan. I'll give you an example because during the Cincinnati town hall that Vivek held yesterday in Cincinnati, Ohio, it was a white woman who lost her husband, and he was a former Marine due to a break-in. And this guy who broke in, he was black. He was on parole. He's supposed to have an ankle bracelet, but he somehow cut it off.
Did he do it because
He
they was
broke into
white?
their
That don't
home
sound like a
and
hate crime.
the and killed her husband, stabbed him or whatever. But no, you said name. You saying because he said
Name someone. Name
Stop
a black
interrupting
person
me.
that's.
Stop talking over. Stop shouting. You said name a black person committing a crime against white people. It happens.
No, I didn't
No,
say
no,
that.
we're talking
I
about
did not
hate
say that.
crimes.
So you're going back to the hate crimes.
If you're saying that
Yeah,
black
you
people
know
are
you.
targeting white people because they're white, that's considered a hate
It
crime. That's
doesn't
a hate
make
crime.
any
And
bloody
the FBI
difference.
stats don't lie
It
on who leads and is at the top of this, and we don't even pierce the veil when it comes to hate crimes. That's a fact.
it doesn't
That's a
make
lie.
any difference. A crime is a crime, whatever, and
If it
irrespective
don't
of
make a
why
difference, why did
you
y'all point that out
decided
and
to
say that
commit
black
it.
people doing
It's
it?
a
Because
crime.
they are.
Now that's what counts, not why somebody did it.
They have.
So y'all
All
are
right,
having a
so
false
hold on,
conversation
Duncan. I have
because
to get. It was just a 30-second rebuttal, so I need to get to the next speaker,
okay.
Pastor. Is Pastor still here? Yes. Go ahead, Pastor. You have to unmute.
Good evening, y'all. I'm hearing a lot of different opinions, and I feel that America is a country that's bounded by our Constitution. Now, even though we're bounded by our Constitution, we physically read it all a different way, and the people that represented everyone is all speaking their actual reality on what they're living from what they're seeing. So, I'm on the fence here because I know it's the things that speak the laws are the things that's not said, and in this case, it's so many people that's not represented here. But us as a people, we have to deal with what was signed off on. So it's really like, how can you speak for the masses when the masses are not being represented? That's what I feel. On that note, I'm dropping the mic.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor. Sway me.
May I ask Pastor a question? Why
Oh, go
aren't the
ahead.
masses being represented?
I feel that it's poor leadership. We elect these officials, but the people who actually vote, the people who need to vote, don't vote to elect the officials. But once the officials are elected, they operate in their office throughout their term. And I'm saying right now, at this present point, is millions of people. I'm texting, I'm sending out messages. Hey, Judge Joe Brown is giving some knowledge, and I'm surprised at who shows up and who shows out. But it's really imperative for us to get out and vote and change something, as opposed to getting on a show like this where you dropping knowledge and not saying anything. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
I believe we all have a right to learn, but if we don't open the book, we can't get mad at the book. On that note, I'm dropping the mic.
Thank you, Pastor. Sway me.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Just because I'm
Yes.
moving. Okay. Hi, Dana and Judge Joe Brown. Okay,
Hey.
so it's been a while, Dana. Lots going on. Okay, so the thing in Cincinnati, at the end of the day, we have a right to defend ourselves. No one has a right to invade your personal boundaries and slap someone and then say the N word. You're causing and initiating, inciting violence. So it is what it is. If they want to be brave out here and think that they can use a fighting word to our faces in the physical and breach peace, causing harm and injury when they know that it's understood in our relationships that um, people are not to repeat the word to us, and especially in public. And then he hit the man. Now I agree with someone stated about the woman as well. You didn't see any black women jumping into that fight. That was
I
for
actually
men.
did see one.
Oh, you did. I didn't
Yeah.
see any, but
She
but
got
I didn't see.
arrested. She got arrested.
It was a black woman that two-pieced the white woman, but y'all missed that. And she was attacked by the racist Neanderthal,
Yeah,
grabbing her
yeah,
by
it
the
was the
ankle.
Neanderthal that punched her and knocked her out. So with that though, they are blaming the black people when they incited the violence, and it is what it is. Now, Judge, I have a bone to pick with you because they did a fist fight. There was no guns, no shootout. They fought like men. and you are still saying that they're weak, right? But they stood up, they handled their business. And then with that, us with the guns and all of that, hey, I'm down with it. I mean, we already had the Black Panthers, but y'all, we don't talk about patrolling their communities with guns. It was a problem there too. So we as Black people, we ain't gonna win. So we got to do what we got to do for ourselves. And that leads me to my next point, about us delineating, ethno aggregating, and separating because of so much propaganda, and them attempting to indoctrinate us to get rid of our culture and align with the what is the white dominant society. We're not the same people. We're not the same humans. We don't have same spirit, souls. All of that. It's obvious there's differences, right? And a lot of it is due to our human experience on this soil and the social engineering that has been taking place for hundreds of years. So, I do see us at this point in time coming out of this wilderness where we've been really abused consistently in this country, whether it's verbally, emotionally, or physically and spiritually, right? So I give my people grace. I understand that, and I've been 54 years around the sun, and I've seen so many things happen in my 54 years. And I've been working since I was 15 years old. And I still don't have no wealth, Judge. And I got multiple degrees, Judge. And I'm not out here with gangsters. And that's another thing. Who are you guys hanging around with? Because every time I hear, Judge, that you think that everybody is, most of the Black people are out here listening to rap music, doing all this. Maybe the youth, but I'm not about that. My daughter ain't even about that. My nieces and nephews and cousins are not even about that are younger than me. So I don't know who y'all hanging out with. And yes, I do know some gangsters in my family, but they're not out here in the streets doing all this and what y'all are presenting. So I have a problem with a lot of the propaganda and the social engineering. But besides of that, I want to state, no one should have a problem with us wanting to make sure that we have autonomy, autarky, and that we are independent, doing our own thing. For me, what I'm seeing is a lot of this, since there's a lot of propaganda against us, and these narratives, negative narratives being pushed against us as Americans and our lineage, I'm ready to separate. We have equity in this country. So when Duncan spoke about the reparations of the Native Americans, they are able to do their thing. There's 3 founding populations of America, and I think it's time for us as freedmen to separate and do our thing and see how much we progress without all this other in our pot, because that's basically what's happening. There's a lot behind closed doors that are trying to engineer us into a space, and then we have to get to a place where we can also heal and do us. It's not going to happen right now with all these others coming in here illegally and legally and getting into our politics. So I'll land it there.
If I might briefly reply, there's nothing wrong with mano a mano, standing up and defending yourself. There's nothing wrong per se with a fist fight. It's a part of human nature. But when it breaches the public peace, then it is a crime. Now, next thing, we say freeman, but we turn around and ask people to let us be free and to provide for us. That's not being free. That's a lie to yourself. If you're free, you don't need anybody to help you. You can do it on your own without asking.
Well,
Next
we did
thing,
do that on our own,
hold
did we
on,
not?
hold on. No, we didn't.
Yeah, yes,
Not
we
long
did.
enough. We didn't. Not long enough, and not in the nature we should have. Now, next thing is what people are doing right now on this site. If anybody got riled up enough to go take action because of it, some of the people that have spoken in the last 5 minutes have uttered things that would get them embraced in a hate crime. Remember, hate crime
Well,
under
it was
American
only a
law.
white man that got
Wait,
picked
no,
up for
stay,
going
stay,
Yeah,
stay,
for
stay on
remember,
your
plotting
hate
mic.
to
crime.
come
Stay.
to Cincinnati to kill.
The
That's
point is
Everybody
that
stay on your
I
mic.
said in a decade it gets reversed and comes back on the people who applauded it. Several people tonight have spoken in a fashion that if anybody did anything as a result of would get them wrapped up in a hate crime situation. Now, that's the danger of it. You see, when you start calling white folk bad names, start talking about what needs to be done to them because they're white, that is in essence a hate crime. And under American law, you will not long get away with just allowing a particularized group to have benefit of a law. It has to be everybody or nobody at all. So when you start talking about white people in a negative fashion, inside of 10 years, that will be a hate crime too. So you will be committing criminal activity when you talk about them bad. Now,
Well, I'm not okay. I get
see,
you with the hate crime, but I'm not talking about. I'm not speaking about hate crimes because crime is crime. I'm with
we
you on
got
the.
to embrace the freedom of speech, big coach.
But
Respectfully, the Constitution first.
I agree. Yeah, well, there you go. And fighting words are a part of the Constitution. And for us, the N word is a fighting word. And it's also in the state of Ohio. It also is in the state of Tennessee. And the Supreme Court has already ruled on and has cases, or at least one case that is still standing, that they're using in the states about the N word as a fighting word. So when people even say it to you in the workspace, at least in Tennessee, there's a case where just recently a Hispanic called the black man the N word at the work site, and the company decided that, oh no, we're gonna reprimand both of you. And then the black man said, oh no, I didn't initiate that and saying negative words to me. So he ended up winning his case with the Tennessee Supreme Court because the Hispanic breached peace and caused a hostile work environment. We're using the N word, but Judge, I want you to understand. When I say we separate, we take an eye 1.7 trillion that needs to go into our offices and setting up our things for ourselves. And when I say that we need to do for ourselves, we came out of slavery with nothing, right? The Freedmen's Bureau only lasted a certain amount of time because they still took the money that we put into that bank for our people, corruption via the federal government. And so even then, read education, all of that changed for us. And we know right now the reason our children are failing in public education is because you don't have black teachers. Most of them are white women. Over 70% are white women in teaching our children. I'm with Malcolm X. You can't have these beings teaching your children, and that's where the indoctrination is coming, where you talking about people are wimpy. Huh, don't you think that's where it's coming from?
no,
So
in
so
Memphis,
so
Tennessee,
so
they're saying the same thing you are, and 75% of the teaching staff, the faculty in the schools in Memphis and Shelby County is black. So where is it coming?
well, I all I know is when we are taking care of ourselves, we do much
We
better. And
don't
I,
do
I
much. We
and
do
I'm
not
ready.
do much better.
Yes, we
No,
do.
we don't. Not
I
in
got
anybody's
grandsons right
history.
now
Not
in
in
school.
anybody's history has anyone
Yes,
prospered by isolation. That is a
we have
false
that track
hearing, and
record.
that is
We
propaganda
have
of
it
nonsense.
documented,
You don't
Judge Joe
have it
Brown.
documented.
Yes,
That's
we
nonsense.
do, Judge Joe
That's
Brown.
nonsense.
There's been
There's
studies, Judge
nobody
Joe
in human
Brown.
history that's prospered from trying to isolate themselves. That's why the
Judge Joe
humanity
Brown,
moved out of
Amen.
teaching our children is very important.
It's the teaching of
Right
children is
now,
very important.
hold on, Judge Joe Brown. Right now, you are talking about a lack of pride in children, a lack of respect. When we were teaching our children and doing what we needed to do for our children in our education, they were totally different.
Have
I
you
am
ever
one of
been to a
them. I am
segregated
one of
school?
them. My mother is one of them. My grandmother was
Have you
one of
been to a
them. My
segregated school?
granddaddy was one of them.
Have you been
So
to
they
a
went to
segregated
all
school?
black schools.
Have you
And they
been to a segregated school?
Yes.
Okay,
I went
what
to a
kind of education
PWI
did
for
you get
college.
compared to the white ones?
Shoot, I've been to a PWI for college, plenty of PWIs for
Okay, now,
college.
you know that's still a cop out because you know where the education starts at the kitchen table when one parent is on the other side of the kitchen
And
table
that and that
instructing
and
their
that's why
child.
even more reason why we should be teaching our own, because
But
it takes a village to raise
we
our
don't,
children, and we know that.
we don't.
So we have a different perspective than the white
Why do we have
dominant
a different
society.
perspective than
And it's
anybody
not
else on
going
the
to
planet
work for
Earth?
us to set up here and believe that the white dominant society is going to teach our children when they've been in the white dominant society
Teach
public
them
education
yourself.
system, and they have not prospered in
It
the
sounds
last 10
silly as
years.
hell to depend
So,
upon
okay,
anybody's
Judge, I
system to
got
teach your
stats to
children.
prove you differently. I prove
It
you that what you're
sounds
saying is
silly as
not correct.
hell to
So
depend on anybody to
I'm good,
teach your
Judge. I'm
children if
good.
you don't have control over the situation.
Well,
Take
we have
control.
Judge, you can have control over the situation, right? We can have schools set up at the churches like we did before.
And
We can have
if
schools
some
set up in
preachers
our
are good, but
homes.
do you have
We
a
can teach
pulpit
our
pimps trying
children.
to exploit the
Okay, so
situation?
can I insert
What's
something
going
here? Can I
on?
insert something? Can I insert something? Because I understand and I agree with what Swamy is saying, her sentiments, but I understand and I agree with what the judge is saying, because yes, it is important for black students to have black teachers, especially black men teachers, and that which is very important for young black boys. However, when you do have a school district in Memphis which is 80% run by black people and black representation, and they're doing a horrible job. So just because you're black doesn't mean you're good. However, but it does make a difference to have representation, but you need the right representation.
Amen to that.
Amen.
So because they're
I'm not
so
opposed to the right representation,
right.
Can
because
I
So
we
go
do
now?
hold on
have
for a
right
second, Swamy.
representation.
Hold on for a second, Swamy.
Okay.
What Swamy is saying is absolutely correct. It's just that you're going to get pushback, Sway Me, from, so the judge is pushing back because when you look at Memphis and it's black run the board and they're running it into the ground, right? So it's like what you're saying is correct, but then when we see the bad black people who are in charge, they need to be taken out. And that's part of the parents' well, some of it is part of the parents' responsibility as well. So you got to take out the bad, replace it with the good, and that takes a lot of work. So I hear both of you guys, and I feel as though both your points are valid and true. But what is also true is that both these things are happening at the same time. Well, one is not happening. We don't have good black teaching representation in schools, and the other is happening where you do have black representation, but they're the bad representation
But you
for the
don't,
most part.
you're not covering the teachers failing right now. The percentage of the teachers that are teaching the children are failing. You're not even
Well,
acknowledging
is
that.
it any
But
wonder that they are?
but but
Memphis
um uh,
starts
but
the
with
teachers at
that
28,000 a year to start teaching. Who the hell wants to teach for 28 grand a year when you are automatically impoverished?
okay, now
32,000 if you got a 4-year degree. You don't even need a 4-year degree to teach here now. So who's
well,
going
and
to teach for 32,000 a year and have $100,000 of student loans you got to pay back?
I hear you, Judge. I agree with that. I value
And we keep
teachers.
voting for assholes
That's not the
that
black
push
school
that
system.
kind
That's the
of crap.
American school system, sir. Whites are getting paid the same fee, so that's an
Wait,
American
Birdman,
issue.
Birdman, you gotta stay on your mic. You are next,
Well,
but you gotta stay on your mic.
I agree.
I
White
just wanted
folk
to
get
say
paid
one
the
more
same
thing.
thing to teach too. It's disgraceful what we do not pay school teachers. It is an absolute disgrace. And then we can't teach the kids because we are ignorant. We'd rather go out and party and do all kinds of other stuff and get caught up in Tyler Perry bullshit, Oprah bullshit, instead of learning something to teach your kids. So we
Okay,
always have an excuse. It's always
no,
something
no, no.
else's fault
I want to
besides
point out
our
something,
own.
Judge. I want to point out something to you that I don't think you are very much aware of. Even during COVID, a lot of black families started teaching and homeschooling their children. That's why I say there's stats. There are stats, and homeschool children do much better than in doing public education.
And that's a shame too, because it ought to be the other way around, but it's not, because public education is rotten in the last 50 years, 60 years. I'll say this:
I
the
agree with you on
majority
that.
of black people probably do the right thing. What I am talking about here, get it straight, I'm not talking about the majority of black folk. I'm talking about the assholes that try to pimp the problems and keep advocating bullshit. That's who I'm talking about, because that shit is poisonous and it spreads. So, average person, black, white, brown, red, yellow, is an all right human being. He or she is normal. They have the same kind of ambitions humanity has had for hundreds of thousands of years. But the assholes that we have out there that are pimping this situation need to be silenced, because they're telling a lie long and loud, and anybody believes that kind of crap. That's a classic basis for propaganda. Now, the other thing about hate crimes, when we so popularize the N word, and all on X space, all on these forums, all in X, everywhere you get with the music, we use the N word to refer to each other. How the hell do you think somebody white is supposed to say that is a hate word when we use it? And then when it comes, well, they black, they white. No. How about you got a family where you got 14 kids in the family, and they range from looking blonde haired, blue eyed to dark just off the boat, and they got the same mom and dad with a hell of a gene mix up. So if a bright one with blonde hair says the N word, but his mama is dark chocolate, is he being racist or she being racist? Hell, you don't know. So the whole damn thing of it is we get these idiots that push the N word because they can't talk without it, because they think it's being down and whatever they're trying to be. So how you gonna call that a hate crime when you call yourself that? It's crazy.
All right,
Let's
pause
see,
for
we
one
gotta be
second.
consistent.
Um, 1 second. Everybody, can you please repost this space and like this space and share it? And I'm gonna go to Breadman, then Moni, Dolo, Hawk, Irwin. I dropped you down because I needed to make room for another speaker. And can I have Gibson and Derek? Can you guys drop down if you don't mind? And then if you want to come back up, I'll bring you back up. I just want to bring up speakers who is requesting and just make space. And oh, and then thank you to on and everybody on YouTube, like and share as well. Thank you to Trumpinator. He says, I don't care what color Joe Brown is, I support him, and I know he don't need my money. Thank you for the super chat. I need your money, so you guys could donate as well. All right. Breadman, you're up.
Dana, can I say something real quick and I'm gonna drop
Of
down?
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Um,
yeah. You say something 30 seconds and then sway me if you were done, or I could just swing back to you. Then and then it's Bradman's turn. Go ahead, Derek.
Right. Yeah. My sentiment was exactly what the judges pointed out, and I'm saying that we keep the stuff that's happening with these stupid leaders, these poor ignorant leaders, black leaders. They are. It's getting louder and it's getting louder. It's becoming a problem, and more, especially the youth and others, are being indoctrinated in it. And I posted the report in the purple pill. We call it a purple pill, but it's the comment section, where if you can read it, if y'all want to read it, you can read it. That it shows that it has been an increase in black hate crimes targeting white people. I mean, I don't make this stuff up. I'm a barber. I talk to people from all walks of life all the time, every day, and I hear this stuff. It's growing louder and louder and louder. I'm hearing the hate, and they're just
Can
targeting.
you post those stats in the comments, sir, so we
Yeah,
can see
yeah, yeah.
them?
It's already in there. It's already in there, bro. You can
Because
look.
I have my own stats, and we're
Okay,
not
well,
even on
yeah,
the
well,
list.
hey,
But go ahead,
you got
brother.
your
You're
stats. And
taking up my time right now.
well, you got your stats, and I just posted that. So I just wanted to say my 30 seconds that I was given, and I'll drop down. Appreciate that, Dana.
Okay. Um. Go ahead, Bradman.
Okay. I'm glad they at least tried to bring it back to hate crime in Cincinnati. We're moving the goalposts. First of all, I'm a constitutionalist. I'm from Texas. Um, those immigrants, those white savage immigrants, are lucky that they left with their lives, including Mali, because from here to Texas, we stand our ground. And so what happened was, and just to address Joe Brown, using the word nigger is not a hate crime. Using the word nigger is not a hate crime. The First Amendment protects us for freedom of speech. So you ain't got to like me, and you could call me whatever the hell you want. What makes it a hate crime is when you spew racist propaganda with the threat of violence or combined with the actual act of violence. So what happened in Cincinnati, just like Alabama, was one of the biggest hate crimes, failures, and gone wrong that we've ever seen, right? And so again, they were lucky to leave with with their lives because the black men, 1.5 black men, were surrounded. They was spit on. They was called racist slurs, and then the black man was attacked. So right now we have an immigrant fugitive. We have immigrant fugitives on the run. I'm pretty sure they went back to wherever they came from because once we start pulling out the law, now you got to deal with everything. These are misdemeanors. These are bar brawls. But once you add that racist element along with the violence, that is a federal hate crime, and so they should be charged for what they did. Now, when we're talking about a race war, we've been in a race war since we got here, since the 1600s. And I think that it's disingenuous, right? Because what we need to understand, when you are the minority, right? We have our people coming over here now. I don't even pay no much attention to it because I know why you come to join me, brother. And we need your help. But when you are the minority and the majority considers you a threat, the minority is crying about you every goddamn day and doing everything to keep their boot on your neck. That means that you are winning. We've been in a race war since we got here. So Joe Brown, you are a product of us winning. Dana, you are a product of us winning. Everybody that's in here, coming up here, exercising their American freedom of speech is a product of the minority, the blacks, of us winning. I don't know if y'all know anything about sports. You see what I'm saying? When you got a word, when you got a trembling, you on their neck. And it's no mistake that we are on their neck. Now, I pulled up some stats just to bring some education to it. In 2023, these are the 2023 FBI stats. Pay attention. 3,027 people that had hate crimes against them were black. These are people that were charged and convicted. It doesn't say who did it. It says the victims. Then the next victim would be 912 were Latino or Latina descent. The next is 452 were Asian American. They even have the Asian hate crime bill. They made that around that time, just over 400 some people. Then we have 123 were Arab and Arab Americans. White people don't even come up on the list as being affected by hate crimes, and we don't have nothing to do with that. So as a Texas, as a stand your ground state, you understand what I'm saying? You do have the right to defend yourself, and you can't call time out once your hate crime fails. You tried to jump on me and you got jumped on. This ain't MMA. This not a professional fight. I don't give a damn about your hand touching your glove touching the ground, your knee touching the ground. My life is in danger, and it is incumbent on me to demobilize the threat. So I think that a lot of times we get caught up with the schematics, especially we talk about this hate crime goofy shit. It was only a white man that was picked up for coordinating with people on X, the same space that we on, just got picked up 3 days ago, right? For coordinating with, I don't call them white supremacists, we're coordinating with white degenerates to come to Cincinnati and act terrorism amongst black people. That is a fact. You got J.D. Vance out there jumping in the middle, trying to grandstand about a bar brawl when your ass need to be bringing us the doggone Epstein files. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say unless you bringing them Epstein files. We got to stop getting hit with the oopty wop. We got to stand on our square, and we got to keep doing what we doing, because when you got us sweating bullets like this, we are winning. And with that, I yield.
Ain't nobody sweating
Um,
bullets. If you commit a crime, if you had an evil intent in committing it, you're guilty of the crime.
We're talking about hate crime, sir.
I ain't talking about hate crimes. It's
I'm talking about
totally
hate crime. Hate crime was
unnecessary, and
it was a failed hate crime
it
in
is an
Cincinnati, and that's a fact.
insult.
You don't have to
It is
acknowledge
an
it, but that's the law.
insult to the perceived beneficiaries of a hate crime to infer that they're so weak that they need special treatment, like they're juveniles or
No,
minors.
I respect the law like you, Judge.
Sorry, it works
I
out
respect the law
badly.
like you, Judge.
For 50 years, I've had to deal with the bullshit behind that stuff. It does not work, and it's unnecessary, and it's a sop, a political piece of garbage to deal with making some folk who feel inferior like they have gotten something. That's all it is. It is a
Well,
sop.
when you're talking about getting some, you're talking about reparations. We have
We're
the
not
biggest
talking
case.
about
We have the
reparations
biggest. I'll
right
let you
now.
go.
That
I'm a
is
rebuttal.
something. If you
I'm
can,
a rebuttal. Go
if
ahead.
you can find a way outside of legislative action to come
Mm-hmm.
up with reparations, more power
Mm-hmm.
to you. A lot of people have been thinking about that for 160 years, how to do
R.I.P.
that.
Johnny Cochran.
I worked with Johnny Cochran. I still
Thank you.
have his number in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Cochran, well, he's dead now, since 1966. We both went to UCLA. All right, fine. Now, we couldn't come up with an idea. We had some clues, and I'm still investigating him. I'm 78 years old. He
And I
died of a heart
appreciate that.
attack.
I
Now,
appreciate you saying that,
okay, now
Judge.
the bottom line is so far we haven't come up with anything that'll work but legislative action. And the Black
Mm-hmm.
Caucus that is ideally placed to do something about it, that had 2 weeks of circus hearings on it 6 years ago, have a gay white Jew named Steve Cohen,
Let's go.
who
Let's
is
go.
chairman of their reparations committee. He also holds the same position for the Liberty Caucus, which is the
Mm-hmm.
LGBTQIA Rainbow
Let's
Caucus.
go. Let's go, Joe. Yes, sir.
So we are dealing with a farce.
one, one.
Next
Oh,
thing is we have a problem.
Just give me 30 seconds.
I'm going to let you have the 30 seconds. It's just this:
yeah. Just
normal
sit tight for a second, Brad, man.
normal people
I'm gonna let you
are
have the
pretty
last word.
much unanimously disposed to certain things. We have some people that have had a free run for 50 years to tell lies long and loud. And if you tell one long and loud enough, you can get anybody, including the liar, to believe it. So a lot of the stuff that is out there, I have seen develop over the last 55 years. Since I've been grown, I could vote, buy whiskey since it started. It is something that is taken hold of so people believe it. And as long as they go for this okey doke nonsense, they're being bamboozled and they'll get nowhere because they're missing the real point. The real point is political power. Political power is achieved when you have something that somebody wants and you can bring it to the fore to contribute to their cause if they help yours out, or there is some good reason to make sure that you get placated by getting what you want. And that means you have to be able to vest consequence. And we have a bunch of passive, butt licking Negroes who do not know what it is to vest consequence, because all they are doing when they hold these office, for the most part, is to steal. And that's going all over the country. Wherever you find them running a big city, you see this nonsense, this ineffectiveness in place where it is just a pogrom of stealing, theft, embezzlement, and misappropriation of funds. And we buy into it and we support it. Now, I'll pass the mic. Thank you.
1 second, Brad, man. Trumpinator, thank you so much. He's sending another super chat. He says, "No one got me scared, speaker." And that was for towards you, Brad, man.
Okay. So, no, and I appreciate Judge Joe's submission, and whether I disagree with 80% 80% of the things that you say, but I love when you get locked in because you don't miss once you get locked in. The only thing I say about the hate crime, we needed that. It's nothing about being weak. We needed that in order to stop our brothers, sisters, fathers, and mothers getting gutted and lynched. So we needed the federal government to come in and ante up, the retribution that would be had if you enacted a hate crime. And as you can see, we still need that to this day. but it's not the people. As you can see, a lot of rights that we fought for, a lot of people are riding off our backs and trying to use the oopty wop so it could benefit them. So at Cincinnati, they almost got it right when they said federal hate crime, but it was the white Russian immigrants that failed a failed attempt with the hate crime. Now with the reparations, I'll be short on this because I don't disagree with nothing that you said. And again, RIP to uh, Johnny Cochran. But Malcolm X, I think, gave the most valiant attempt. Um, we have the biggest case in world history behind the Jews. I'm glad you spoke about the Jewish man because they have reparations for a lifetime. And the way that they was able to do that, they was trying to do what Malcolm X did. Well, Malcolm X was trying to do what they did, which was bring America before the world court, before the United Nations, to first hold them accountable for crimes against humanity, atrocities against humanity. A lot of people get it twisted that when you say reparations, we looking for a handout, but there is no reparations without retribution. First, you must be charged, and you must be held guilty of a crime. Then comes restitution. Then comes reparation. And I think that the only thing that we're missing, because I think you're right, we're not gonna get it done here. Just listening to what you're saying and from what I know, we have to take Malcolm X route and take it to the world stage and try to find an ally. And the only thing that I would add to that, and that's why a lot of people get angry, some people gonna get mad when I say this, it was crimes against humanity, and it was a RICO. And so what I say, meaning a RICO, go look at Diddy, go look at Young Thug. A RICO means you have a buyer, you have a seller, you have a buyer, you have a middleman, and unfortunately, black people in America, we're gonna have to deal with. We are at one point in time gonna have to bring West Africa in this. Bring those outposts into this and bring them into the World RICO case as well. That is how we get the reparations. But for the
Wait,
most,
hold on for a second. Hold on, Brandman. You're saying that we need to bring in and Pastor, I dropped you down so I can make room for other speakers. So I just don't want people who don't think that I'm just dropping you to be rude. When I drop you, I'm just bringing new speakers up to get a chance to speak. Just real quick, Brandman, before I let you land, are you saying that we need to link up with the continent of Africa or the African Union in order for us to get reparations?
no, ma'am, you're hearing me wrong, and I'm glad
Okay.
you asked that question. We need to charge them as well. So when you say when you have a
Oh,
RICO,
okay, okay,
yes,
okay.
you don't just buy, you don't just charge the buyer. The goal is to ultimately charge the distributor. And what people don't want to acknowledge that West Africa, we know we have paperwork. It's in our lineage. We've done enough knowledge on this to know that there are, because Africa is a continent, but there are African countries, just like America was built off of the FBA, off of our work, and look how far we've come. I stand on what we're doing now. But we're gonna have to deal with that. We're gonna have to charge our cousins, our brothers and sisters in Africa for crimes against humanity as well. It is a world RICO charge. And you need to look at the Jews, right? Because if you go to Germany, look at what the Jews did to Germany. They made it, and they made America, they gave them their own state, not only 40, 50, 60 years ago. So a lot of people like
No,
to
you
hate
make
on
a
the
valid
Jews, but
point.
that's not
I
our
agree with
business.
you.
We need to study how they got reparations for a
Right.
lifetime because we got a bigger case. They got their case off a make-believe book. If you ask a Jew, they said it was an ethnic cleansing, right? But every time they're in America, they claiming that they're white. And then when you say, "Oh, are you white?" They say, "No, I'm Jewish." Yeah, I can be a Jew tomorrow if I
Right.
took the right classes, if I converted. We have a real ethnic case. We have
All
a
right.
real
I need you to
bloodline. We have the
What
we have the biggest case.
explain.
With
LGBTQ
that, I
does.
yield.
Land,
That's what the
land.
rainbow does. You can become the equivalent of being Jewish by being rainbow and belong to something else as a favorite class. Now, may I point something out? The real deal is that when it comes to these international courts, they have absolutely no power unless the United States, Russia, and China decide to enforce their rules.
Mm,
None at all.
okay. Hmm.
We have the United States Navy, nuclear aircraft carriers, R.L.I. Burke destroyers, and nuclear submarines. We have M1 tanks and M2 and M3 Bradley armored vehicles. We have, interestingly, 155 self-propelled howitzers. We've got B1, B2, B-52 F-35s, F-A-18s, and F-22 aircraft, and nobody can take us on in a standoff, classical, pure fight. Nobody. We might.
People don't understand that
That's how
the
we
last 2 years of
government.
Malcolm's life, he went to the World Court, and his theory was, and our African brothers and sisters rejected him. There was no pushback. Once he got lost his life. Once they the FBA, just when the FBI was trying to charge him everything, but he went to the World Court and said, and this is a fact, yo. It's 85% melanated. It's 85% of us here. And the world still stands the same. The world is dominated by a savage minority. And this is a fact. And Malcolm X was trying to point out that, yo, if we get this right, it's eight of us, you know what I'm saying, and two of them. And nobody was biting on what Malcolm was putting down. So, but no, I appreciate the bill, Dane, and I appreciate the build as well, Joe. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you, Brett, man. Appreciate you coming up.
By the way,
And,
I would
and you
point
know what? And I
out
would love to have you on
let me
my
point
one
one.
second, Judge. I would love to have you on my Friday panels, Brett, man. So I'll send you a DM.
Okay.
And I'll reach out to you first. You got that. No
Let me.
problem.
Okay.
I appreciate
Cool.
that, Dana. I'm
Miss
gonna
Dana,
tap
can
out
I
so you
can
can
I
get some more people up here.
educate him a little bit on something about the reparations that he may not be
Go ahead.
aware of?
You could go on rebuttal. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want him to know that we don't call Africans our brothers and sisters or cousins because that's not a healthy relationship. First of all, healthy relationships, there's reciprocation. You give and take, right? They haven't repented just as well as the white man or whomever, the Europeans haven't repented. So yes, we do want to hold them accountable. And they're right now trying to make us a sixth union and trying to make us a part of their union, so they can plunder our wealth, right? And be leading reparations as if they did not have a hand in what is happening today. Like, it's crazy. It's really wild. We have a lot of psychopaths, a lot of mentally unstable beings being presented as healthy, and they're dysfunctional. And we have to understand and see that for what it really is, and why we're continually in this holding pattern. But the other thing I want you all to understand is Trump just removed us from the United Nations. There's no more United Nations. So that's what I wanted to point out. I'll land.
Okay.
There's a treaty that impacts the United Nations status and that of the United States. And Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution says ratified treaties are part of the supreme law of the land. So executive action does not remove the effect of Article 6 to the Constitution. You have to get an amendment, and none such has been proffered to the states. So that is just that's hyperbole presented by the media.
Okay, so we have Moni Dolo Hawk, the black
Can I answer the
first.
sister real quick? Just the
Man,
One,
no,
sister.
she's
Give
trying
me
to get her
20 seconds.
hands.
Give me 20 seconds
wait,
for the
You
sister.
you
I
keep
want to.
saying 30 seconds, 20 seconds,
Yeah, I'm
man.
about to go,
Why
brother.
are
I'll
you
let you
why are
have the
you
floor. Hold on. I
constantly
was patient.
interrupting and being
Brother, just be
disrespectful?
patient like I was,
No, you're
brother.
being
Excuse me.
disrespectful.
Excuse me,
You're
sir.
being
Just a
disrespectful.
little
This is
decorum,
common
sir.
for you. You're
We don't have to fight,
disrespectful.
sir.
No, I'm not fighting
I'm
with
not
you. I'm just
disrespecting
pointing
you,
out
brother.
you're not
I had to
disrespecting
wait
me.
like you,
You're
brother. I had
disrespecting
to
the
wait
judge.
like
You're
you.
disrespecting
Excuse
the
me,
host.
brother.
You're
all right, guys.
disrespecting the
Excuse
other
me, sir.
speakers
Just a
because you're
little
just
Right. So
breaking
decorum.
in.
Berman, just mute
Sir, you
up.
about to tell on yourself
No,
real
you're the
quick.
one
I
who's telling.
promise I'm going to give
Wait,
you.
Okay,
guys.
gentlemen,
Right.
let's
I will
chill.
come back to you. I will come back to you, Birdman, because there are other speakers who have been waiting a long time. So we have Moni Dolo, Hawk the Black, um, Corey, he came back up, Black first, Shay, Ellis, you came up, but then there's connection. So Shay, I say, so yeah, so Moni is next. And thank you again, Terminator says, did you know white people were slaves also, but no one cares about them? Um, so Moni is next. Did I say your name? Moni, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Dana. Thank you for the mic, Judge Joe Brown. I'm a huge fan. I was actually Joe Lanou was kind enough, because I am a fan, to let me sit on the panel when you guys were a guest on his grand jury show. So
I recognize you. There you go.
thank you,
Yeah, that
Judge
was
Joe.
fun.
Thank you, Dana. I several of us in the community that are friends with Joe Lanou, we also support Second Amendment rights, and we have a friend in New York. Are you aware of Dexter Taylor's case? Have you heard anything about that, Judge Joe?
A little bit, not a whole heck of a lot. I know.
My friend. My friend B Wayne is on mic up here, and I think Dana's having a glitch and not able to see him because she's been so diligent in calling out names, but she missed him, and I actually tagged
Oh no, B
along.
Wayne did speak earlier.
Oh, did he? Okay,
Yeah, and
okay.
I think I brought him back up because I know I was going to come back. Or was he on the list to come back? Oh no. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, I followed him in here because he said he wanted to mention this case and asked me because I know a little of the details a little bit better. But I will go over it real briefly if you'll humor me. Dexter is 53-year-old career man in New York. He picked up during COVID. He picked up the hobby of gunsmithing. He has an engineering background. He has an engineering mind. He found it fascinating, and of course, there wasn't a lot to do in New York during lockdown. He bought gun parts. He was putting them together. He was studying techniques, thinking about possibly helping with some mechanics for military and police. He bought all this stuff on his legal name. It was legal when he purchased them. Sometime later, they've changed the laws in New York where you had to register everything you had. And they found his name on a shopping list. Either American Express or one of the suppliers turned over his information. There was no crime. They raided his home. ATF raided his home. They decided there was nothing to charge him with federally. The state picked it up and they charged him on multiple gun laws. And he is locked away in prison right now for a 10-year sentence. So we've been advocating for him pretty hard. We're trying to get him up for an appeal. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And there's some of us that are able to communicate with him on spaces. He is a very, very intelligent man. He is a Frederick Douglass conservative, and we'd love to invite you to participate and speak with him. Look into this and see what you think about it. And B. Wayne, if I missed anything, please fill
Well,
in
if
the spots.
yeah, I think you just about covered it. But if I could jump in here, Judge Joe Brown, this is a case that's real near and dear to our hearts. Corey, Moni, Hawk, Fidji, Jack, Joe Lanou, Ronan, uh, Hudat, Mayhem, Queen, Carl. It's a Dexter is one of those guys that anyone one would be proud to call their neighbor. He's a real nerd, like Moni pointed out. Scientific engineering, software engineering background. Picked this up as a hobby. Got a lathe in his basement. Never posted a picture of these guns on his social media. Never had any intent to sell them. Never even fired them. The first time he got fired was after he got arrested when they fired them to prove that they were functioning firearms. But he got this case. He got raided by the FBI when they ran the numbers through a database to see who was buying them, and they found that. And he purchased these before the law in New York went into place, where it was requiring him to pay something like $9,000 a year just to keep him registered. And he was offered a plea deal, and he said, "Well, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm gonna take this to court to see if I can win because I know my Second Amendment rights." This guy is sharp as a tack, and he's really we're trying to get his message out there because this guy, he needs all the help that he can get. He's working. We're just about fundraise to what he needs to make the second appeal, and we think he has a good chance if it gets to the federal level. But I'm going to try and bring Joe Lanou up here as well. Dana, can you send Joe a mic? I'll drop if need be.
Is he in the audience? Tell him
Oh,
to
yeah,
tell him to
I'd
request.
be glad
Yeah,
Well,
he's in the audience.
I'd be glad
tell
to
him
help.
to send the request and I'll bring him up. So the case, this particular case, you want the judge to talk
I
about
said
it?
I'd be glad to help. Get in touch with
Okay.
me. I have a personal opinion that the Second Amendment is the foundation of every other right we have as a citizen of the United States of America. It is the ultimate insurance that the government itself will remain honest and forthright. I think those people who attempt to undercut the Second Amendment are abject physical and moral cowards who do not have the nerve to accept the collateral consequences of being free. And I detest and despise a person who is that kind of pacifist, who's willing to set up a totalitarian government to protect him from things that, as a man or woman, he or she ought to be able to protect themselves from to begin with. The man has the responsibility of protecting the entirety of the society. And when things get through him, then the women can back that up. And some people are trying to emasculate this country and put up a sham group of people who are charged with core safety for the citizens, who are in positions to turn quickly and aptly into oppressors. That is not a pleasant thing to contemplate. And I think that kind of situation trumps, excuse the pun here, everything else that everybody else is concerned with, because that is so essentially fundamental to what it is to live in this country that distinguishes living here from every other place in the world. I pass the mic.
Judge Joe, if I may, what one thing that makes this so egregious and turns it into a civil rights issue as well is the judge in his case. Dexter is a black man. Um, the judge and the prosecutor, both assigned initially, were white. They changed out last minute and put in a black judge and a black prosecutor. Um, the judge during his case made the statement that the Second Amendment did not exist in her courtroom. So not only do we have the issue of the unconstitutional gun laws putting away a man with absolutely no criminal background that was a productive member of society in New York, where you've got criminals running around freely and let out with no bond, but they also violated his civil rights when they did not let him put up his just defense there. So this case, we're hoping that later on in later years we'll be quoting his case as a Supreme Court ruling. It's really a strong case, and I'm happy to hear your response to
Well,
that.
my response to what you just said is if the judge did that, she should be removed from any further proceedings in the event that the case is remanded on appeal for further proceedings. I have experienced that often where a judge is removed for intemperate remarks. Now, that shows a predisposition to not fairly apply the law and not to apply the law as it has been interpreted by the highest court in the land, to wit, the Supreme Court of the United States. So, yeah, this is part of that sissified mess that has become all too prevalent in this country, where somebody is supposed to take care of some entitled brats who never grow up from cradle to grave and see to their every want and need, including the protection that they ought to be able to vest for themselves because they are adult human beings. So I don't like that. And I think this is one of those kind of situations from what I read where it really needs to go forward. This also has some important First Amendment rights here. In other words, the acquisition of knowledge and the pushback from the sissies who do not want people to know these things about armaments and how to make them. Essentially, today, if you have the money, you can buy the CNC machines and the programs, as well as do things to deal with 3D printing, and you can make your own firearms. There's no way to stop somebody from doing that. So this whole effort is one to subvert what we have in this country as a guarantee that we will not have a totalitarian government, because the people will never be put in a subservient, powerless position vis-a-vis the government. And I think that is an important thing. And the collateral consequences that flow from that are very valuable to society. It's sort of like saying I like driving 65 on a freeway, but the collateral consequences to a moment's inattention could be a disaster with mutilation and or death following quickly. But we can put up with that collateral consequence for convenience. We need to put up with the other one that comes from the Second Amendment as a consequence of the paramount and primary purpose of being alive in the United States of America, which is to be a free citizen of this country. Now, I pass the mic.
Well, and the thing is, when he purchased these, it was completely legal. He used his credit card, he used his name. It was all completely legal. The law changed after he purchased these, and it applied retroactively.
That's called ex post facto. That is outlawed in the Constitution, and I'm sure somebody smart, if they went to law school and paid proper attention, will bring that up in an appellate proceeding.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. I threw some stuff up in the jumbotron. We're trying to get him enough money. I think we're a couple thousand away from him being able to afford the transcripts and his appeal. If anyone can or is willing to give to his Give Send Go, it will be massively appreciated. I threw that up in the jumbotron, but I want to pass to Joe Lanu or Corey, dealer's choice.
Yeah,
With
real quickly,
I
Wayne.
make a suggestion right here, a pragmatic one. If he cannot afford to pay for the transcripts right now, somebody ought to suggest to him to file a motion to be declared indigent and have the court pay for the transcripts. That is only fair, and that is a law in every single state and in the United States of America. By the way, I didn't say this earlier, but every single state currently in the Union of the United States of America at one time was a stand your ground state. Some New England states came up with a cockamamie crapped out thing that said you had to retreat because they became pacifistic. It doesn't work. But with that said, we need to get a word to him to simply file an independent pro se motion to be declared indigent and request that the court pay for his transcript and also for appellate counsel. If he cannot afford to pay for counsel for the appeal, that must be provided for him by the state. So he is entitled to have his current attorney paid for or a substitute attorney stand in who is adequate and competent to handle the issues of his appeal.
And also, B Wayne, put it in the purple pill as well, so people could see it there as well. When this space ends. So, and then Joe, you wanted to comment on it.
I did, Dana. I can't see speakers. The actual Dexter Taylor story is so long that it doesn't allow me to go up. So I apologize if I'm stepping on top of everyone. Hey, Judge, it's Joe. Good to see you again. My old account got suspended for inauthentic behavior, and so I'm on my alt account. Dana, I'm going to follow you if you'll follow me back. But on the Dexter Taylor case, Judge, it really comes down to some real fundamental. The Bruin decision that the Supreme Court gave a two-part test for gun laws. If you'll take the law that New York passed after the Bruin test, it was almost like, hey, Supreme Court, hold my beer. Let me show you how we can really do it here in New York. They passed that, thinking that at some point it probably will be challenged. Dexter's got an excellent prospects for an appeal in the federal system. We're trying to get through his first state court appeal, which he's got, I think, some good issues. I think the judge's proclamation that the Constitution doesn't, or the Second Amendment doesn't live here is probably a good one as well. The transcripts have already been paid for. It's attorney fees that we're finishing up, and I think we're down to the last $3,000, and then this first round of appeals will be done. But
everybody needs to approach the child trial court and say he needs somebody to pay for the balance of his appellate counsel fees. And by the way, just because you haven't been paid and you're the lawyer as the attorney of record, that doesn't mean you can get off of the appeal or anything else without the court's permission. And I put up with, and so have a lot of other trial lawyers, what they call pro bono by ambush, where somebody hasn't completely paid you off. So the fact that there are $2,000 or $3,000 remaining in the fee due and owing to a lawyer is no excuse for the work not being done. And myself and other trial practitioners have had the case of defending somebody you cannot stand who has cheated you out of your fee. So you're basically working for the idiot free of charge, but you do your job because it's a matter of principle. Now,
Well,
yes,
I have
sir.
a question now, Joe and B Wayne, and I have a question. Do you think Dexter will be interested, and this is for you, Judge, in having speaking to the judge in his injustice for all segment?
I wouldn't have him do that because the matter's on appeal, and the Fifth Amendment does have some application to his circumstances. I do not have an active law license now. I'm retired, so what he tells me would not be in confidence, nor would I want him discussing the issues of his case on the open air where there might be some slip that could be used. Remember, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and may be used as evidence against you.
Judge, and I understand what you're saying, but Dexter's never claimed that he didn't technically break the New York state laws. He's maintained that all along. If that's the law, then yes, I broke it. And
Yeah,
he's been out
I get
public,
it.
and
In other
he's
words,
hitting the interviews pretty hard. I don't know that he's holding anything back. I think we're
well,
looking
I know
at
that.
best a technical some technicality on an appeal.
I got you. What he's doing is saying, I did what they claim I did, but it's not against the law. It is something I'm entitled to do as a citizen of the United States of America, and I stand on that. I understand that. I'm
So he
proud of
is
people
doing
that take a
interviews.
stand like that. The only thing is that there are some treacherous, low-down bastards that prosecute these days with no scruples. They want to win by any means necessary because they have further political ambition, and it is not wise to let them get any extra ammunition in a case that they may abuse, if you get my drift. Now,
But if he's doing interviews, what is wrong? Is he's currently
he's
doing
got a
interviews,
pending
correct?
case. It may
Oh,
be remanded for further proceedings if he's successful upon some of the issues I can foresee on appeal.
okay. All right. Let me well, Dolo just dropped down. I don't know what happened, Dolo, because you were next. Um Hawk. Hawk still up here? Yes.
Yes, I'm still here. And I had a whole list of notes here of various things that people have said over the last 30, 40 minutes. But I think I'm going to distill it down into a real quick 30, maybe 40-second diatribe of the absolute lack of respect for the judge and for Dana and for people speaking, intending and expecting that their opinion is so much more important than what's being discussed. And I'm sorry, it was absolutely disgusting listening to these people talk over top of Judge Joe Brown and other speakers. And I'm flabbergasted. You talk about insisting on respect and insisting on what's your due, and you refuse to give anybody their own.
Yeah, there's one other reason to listen to me. For 55 years, this is what I've been doing 5 days a week, 52 a year, day in, day out. So you
Okay,
might
there you go,
want to
Dolo.
pay attention because I'm trying to tell you like it is, not that you in your ignorance hope it is or have a fantasy that it is. So you can go against it if you wish, but I think you should listen to find out what the trail looks like that you are about to trod. Anyway,
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Judge, because I agree with you. And listening to several people in here try to over talk and override you, just, it's disgusting. I'm
well,
sorry.
in that respect, last remark I'll make on that subject is this. I've heard this before, but usually the reaction is overruled. This is what's going to happen. That's the court's order. Take him into custody. Uh, and I might be nice and bring him out 2 hours later. Now you get the idea about how this works. It's not what you want. It's what is relative to the law. If you don't like it, then have somebody appeal it for you, but you'll have to get a long way up to the next level of appeal before anybody can overrule me. And they're not going to touch it until this matter is completely over. So you will be locked up for months. The court would strongly suggest that you comply with its orders and instructions in interpretation of the law. Now, let's move on. See, that's how you deal
Oh,
with it. And that's the answer. And people don't like that these days because they think their opinion is paramount. When, yeah, it is an intellectual thing, depending upon who says it. But in reality, that's a different story. And I'm trying to convey reality. With that said, boom, I cut that off.
all right.
Miss Dana, Miss
Mhm.
Dana, I just want to say thank you to you and Judge Joe, and I'm going to drop the mic.
Appreciate you, Moni.
Thank you.
Dolo.
Judge,
Oh, go ahead.
did you just explain the judge version of you might beat the charge, but you won't beat the ride?
Yeah.
That's good.
In
Dolo.
other words, translation, you can say all you want, but you keep that shit up, the court's gonna kick your ass. And I'm trying to tell you how you not get your ass kicked by somebody sitting up at a bench with a bat cape on and a gavel. That's all.
Who said back cape? Go ahead, Dolo, and then the black. And
Yes, can you guys hear me?
oh no, honey, what is where you at?
Driving the windows down.
You do have the air conditioner on, and he was up here for a minute.
It's my headphones. Is it better?
Are you have headphones on or no?
I took them off. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, but are you in a car with air conditioner?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, can you turn the air conditioner off? Hello, Dolo.
That gets hot some places in the world.
I know. That's why I was laughing. But it's like if you have the air conditioner on, you're on the phone. The air conditioner kind of overpowers the phone. Um,
Well, I'm driving and it's not gonna work. I'll hop on later. My
well, I
fault.
can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you. We can hear you. It's better now though.
Yeah, I was just going to say in regards to the judge. I've been watching you since I was a kid. I'm 32 right now, so I have a lot of respect for everything that you've done. It's just one thing I've really noticed within like your generation. You're my grandfather's age. He's 78 as well. And politically, you guys think completely opposite about things. He's very much democratic. You know, damn near tries to force me to vote for Kamala or whoever that's running Democratic at the time. But you're very much opposite when it comes to that. But as far as like the ideology that you guys kind of share that same thought process as far as like what's happened to black people or just like blacks being victims and things of that nature. And it's very interesting. I'm kind of wondering what's the psychology behind that. Like, did that come from just being on this earth for so long and seeing the things happen to our people, and it kind of have you feeling like there's no help anyway. So it's just strange that I see that come from both sides of the political fence when it comes to our elders. But like I said, I do have a lot of respect for you, things of that nature. But when it comes to like people saying that we got to stop playing victims and all that, I think that can be somewhat dishonest, just based off of the 300, 400 plus years of trauma that we've gone through and being literal victims to white supremacy. We can't just start to point the finger at each other when we jump on a white person who put their hands on us first. Like I just think we got to stop doing that. But that's all I had to say. Thank you.
From my perspective, I appreciate your grandfather situation. You're young. You're younger than my youngest child. Um, I'd say this. At my age, I watched black folk finally accumulate real political and social power. We had it. We had a pathway wide open to us to advance. But something happened at the end of the 60s. I won't get into it. I know what it is. But between the end of the 60s and right now, we blew it. It's like an analogy would be looking at a championship sports team that got a lot of play for being so good, and they let it go to their heads. They started partying, hanging out late at the hotel and the bars, hanging with the ladies and dissipating their energy, and over the course of a season start sliding from being undefeated down to mediocrity because they aren't focused and are not taking care of their business. The process took a half century, but I've watched it slowly and surely go where it has gone. And I heard the prognostications where people started off 55 years ago talking about how they were going to destroy what black people were doing for a number of reasons and get it to where it is now. They've been successful and we have defeated ourselves. That's why I get angry and I won't back down off of a lot of stuff. And I think the Democratic Party, which did have some benefits for black folk 55 years ago, did have some definite benefits, has become a poisonous instrument trying to spread a sick cult of nihilism and self-hate where duty, honor, obligation, responsibility, and accountability are things that are passe and are to be overlooked in favor of a feeling of entitlement to being taken care of as an infant from cradle to grave and never growing up. That's what I don't like. Now, that said, I pass the mic again.
The black.
How you doing, Dana?
How are
Judge,
you?
everybody else in the room. Uh, I'm kind of with what the previous brothers just said. I and I agree with most things that the judge say. I'm I'm super conservative. I'm a Texan. I'm staying your ground and everything, but I I kind of do feel like the history that we have with certain groups of people in America. I am with the favor of yeah, we need some super protective rights away from these folks, and usually I never like would kind of like fall into that side of the spectrum when it come down to like feeling like we need to be protected because I'm from Texas. I shoot first and ask questions later, but just knowing the history of these folks and when we around them, yeah, we never get a break from them, and then they manipulate laws and everything else in their favor. So it's like a lose-lose situation for them. So I feel like what's wrong with us kind of like doing what the little Arkansas white people doing and have a return to the land moment and at least try to get a state or two to ourselves and be separate, but still part of the United States.
You can't do that because the law won't permit it. What they're doing in Arkansas, down in the Ozarks, I'm familiar with. I ran into it 40 years ago at a Boy Scout camp down there and in the surrounding areas. It won't stand up if it winds up getting into the courts. So it's a dead issue. It's no point in trying to fool yourself that that's going to stand. It won't.
Judge, they did allow the white people to separate and create their own city in Louisiana just earlier this year.
It doesn't mean it's going to stand up when it goes through the courts. See, we are used to 5, 15, 20-second sound bites, and we've gotten acclimated to those over the last 35 years. That's not how the world works. It Justice is a wheel that turns slowly. And what
So,
happens is a lot of thought has to be put into it. So when it gets through the very, very crowded courts, and that takes a few years, not a few months, but years, then the end result often looks nothing like what happened to go in and start the mill turning. So it's not over until it's over. Until
Will you
that
finish the black?
things.
I was gonna ask, isn't it only else somebody kind of like take them to court over it. But what if nobody just don't care and don't try to
Well, you
challenge
see,
them on it and allow them?
you run into public peace, dignity, and order, and the state might get offended. And when the state versus you, the state versus X, Y, and Z, the state has several million people in it, which is a lot more than the 10, 20, or a couple of hundred in your little sect. Now, it sounds good. It could start off if all of them bought a property as tenants in common. They would be entitled to do whatever the devil they wanted to do with the property rights that they controlled at that point as tenants in common. It would be a condominium, so to speak. But as soon as one of them sold their particular interest for whatever reason to any outside person, then all of the laws about lack of discrimination and inappropriate covenants would kick into play. So that would knock them out as soon as the first person decided to sell. There is a black group that was trying to do that in North Carolina. That's the problem they'll have when the first person sells a portion or all of their interest in the condominium or in the tenancy in common in the property that they have acquired. Now, that takes time, so it's a work in progress.
All right. B Wayne, if you don't mind, I'm gonna drop you down so I can bring someone up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for listening to what I have to say, and
Thank
you
you
guys have a
for
great night.
participating.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming up.
Okay, that sound good. Whatever you eating.
I know. I'm sorry. It's ice cream, but it's cold. Black. Okay, so we have Black first, Shay. I have Joe down, but Joe, I think he came up to talk about Mr. Dexter, Indy, and Calavan, and then who is this person here? Bishop. So go ahead, Black
You
first.
don't see my hand,
Who?
Corey.
Corey?
Court
Oh,
crime.
Corey, you back up here. Well, yeah,
I've been
Corey,
back up
you.
here. You said that.
Hey, Dana, I'm going to drop down and listen. Thanks for hearing me out and
Okay.
everything. And Judge, I might hit you up on a back channel. I've got an idea, something that you might enjoy doing with us. But I've got an idea. I'm
Okay.
going to hit you up with. Good
If
seeing
you
you guys.
get through to me through Dana, give him my number if he needs it. Okay?
I think he has your number.
I do.
Okay, cool. Give me a
Yeah.
yell. Drop me a line.
Thanks, Judge.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Corey. You want to say something else? Because I did
Oh
have you
yeah,
after the Black as a repeat.
yeah. I wanted to say something. But one of the first things that everybody hit the points that about Dexter Taylor. I'm glad that we were able to bring that up and talk about it with the judge. But then also I heard someone talk about land or land proposition of their own. And St. George, what I think that person was talking about was St. George down in Louisiana. Um, that has already went through I think to the Louisiana State Supreme Court and was ruled that they can annex and make their own because they left from Baton Rouge, they were East Baton Rouge. And it all started from the fact that they wanted their own school district. And sorry about the beeping in the back. And they wouldn't grant it. And actually, yes, it's predominantly white, but there is a faction of black people that stay in there. Um, and yeah, so it's I don't know if it's going to the federal level, but it has been ruled on the actual state level. And I know that that's done, but now there's a lawsuit against the St. George because they said that they want their money back from that, or they want some type of compensation because they left with a large chunk of money, and rightfully so, because all they wanted was a different school district, and they wouldn't give it to them. And so when they said that we're going to annex and make our own city, I think they're right. The thing in the Ozarks, I don't think that's going to stand. It may be some stuff that may come into it, but even so, I don't even care because guess what? They can go ahead and get their land just like anybody else can get land. Mississippi is selling land for cheap, and you can say who you want on your property, right? You can say if you want to sell a portion off to someone, or you can do all that other stuff. You can do the same thing. There's a whole lot of stuff out there that you can do. I'm not worried about them saying that they don't want either. So what? Fuck them. I'm a pretty dope motherfucker. I like to shoot guns. I used to drink beer, but I don't. They don't want to be there. I got 24 acres down in Mississippi, about to acquire another 30 acres, so I can live in my own land without having to worry about what they say that they want done or said.
Oh, appreciate you, Corey. Black first.
Miss Dana,
Yes,
Judge,
sir.
how are you doing this evening? My two of my
How
favorite people. Judge, this is Eric. Um, I don't think Judge, and I don't think anybody's paying attention to what you said. I hear what you said because I've been following you a long time. I met you in person. I understand what you're saying. Some of your train of thought, and I have great respect for you. Um, the issue with the blue jeans, Miss Dana, I thought the same thing as Judge Joe. Who cares? Because what I'm finding out has people, black people, and there are a lot of us who are thinking for ourselves. And when I first seen that commercial, I was like, okay, who cares? But I think, and I could be wrong, I think there are forces that like to continue division because it's profitable for them. And so you find people getting upset over nothing. Who cares about that? That's irrelevant, and it's not important. And I thought about Ms. Dana. I know you know about this because you talked about this. When the black woman who was over a honeypot, and the country found out that she was black, how people of other ethnic groups went to take their stuff back, but she wound up selling 5 times as much product. Found out about it. So the same thing.
your mic is going in and out. Black first.
Can't hear
Are you?
you.
Yeah. What? He went out. It must be a connection issue.
So you can't tell
Yeah, I'm
black
going
folks
through the
don't
mountains.
care
Can
that
you hear?
much.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Okay, he must have went through another dead zone. He said he was driving through the mountains. So Black first, are
Judge
you
Joe
still
Brown,
there? Are you still there? Because you're
yes, I'm still here. Can you hear me? You
Yes,
can't hear
now.
okay.
me? I'll drop down if I need to. I just wanted to say Judge was right. There's no reason. You got to man up. And Judge always says this. We were attacked because they took away the guns and the weapons and we couldn't defend ourselves. And I took issue with the brother that says we got to be careful because we couldn't fight. Well, he has to study back in Washington back in the 30s where they attacked Washington against that black community, and they fought back, and they had to bring in the army. That's little known facts that they don't teach you and they don't show you. I think we have to man up, show manhood, show leadership, and people will respect you. They're not going to respect you if you fall. And to the question that you said, Judge, J. Edgar Hoover came out and quoted. He says, "We will never allow another Martin Luther King to come out of the black community." When you said we haven't had one, or a Malcolm X, they have worked hard for that not to happen, and they have watered it down. Because I'm traveling, I'm gonna give up the mic, but I'm listening to you, and especially to the brother I want to speak. Don't sleep on us because a lot of us are woke. We understand what's going on. We just got to be diligent and pay attention. And like Judge Joe says, we got to learn to start doing for ourselves and not depend on others to do for us because there'll never be any respect. The 1965 Civil Rights Bill, everybody has taken that bill and used it for their own benefit, except for the people that it was meant for. God bless both of y'all. I'll land right there, and I will listen.
He just went out too. I appreciate you, Black first.
I
Um,
like that. That was cool.
Shay Mashawn, did I say it right? Shay.
Yes, I'm on the bus. I wanted to
Everybody,
say
wait,
something.
why are people out so late? Where y'all going or coming from?
Yeah, they had a co-op city. There's national night out, for law enforcement and all that stuff. So they had a big stage and a movie night out and all that stuff like here. I'm in Co-op City. You know where that is in the Bronx. So
Yeah.
I'm leaving, going somewhere else. But I wanted to say something, but let the other people go before me
Okay.
because you have the noise in the background.
Okay.
Hey, Just Joe Brown.
Hello.
All right.
All right. So
Hello.
all right, so just mute up and then just raise your hand when you're ready to come back. Ready to come back on the mic. Indy, then Cal VLAN. I don't know if
Cleveland with a K. That's all.
huh?
No, I said no. That's Cleveland with a K. That's
Oh,
all.
okay. Um, oh, Cleveland. Okay, you want to be different. Okay. And then we have Bishop, and then Doc and Bradman. I don't see Pastor. Let me write this down so I won't get confused. And then someone is and then magnetic or whatever. I'm probably saying it wrong. So who did I say? Go ahead, Indy.
Yeah, what's happening, Dana and Judge? How y'all doing, man?
Good. How
Um,
are you?
yeah, I'm looking at the topic, Cincinnati, Texas, America. Yeah, so the Cincinnati situation, I just feel like, you can't be talking like that around certain kind of black people. They're gonna deal with you. So that's what happened there. Then the guys was Russian or something. I don't think we could go to his country and start no shit and expect to be, you know, taken care of. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to really wish everybody a happy fade in the water day. For those that don't know what that is, that's the anniversary of the Montgomery Riverboat ass whooping. I mean brawl. Yeah.
The
So
rebellion, sir. Rebellion.
yes. So I just wanted to, tout that anniversary to all my niggas in the room.
Why you use
Secondly,
that word?
I'm just joking. Cause I could do that because I'm black. So,
But who knows you're black?
well, I just told you.
I know you
Sec-
did, but supposing you were white and were lying about it and you practice having a black voice, see, that would be a hate
well,
crime.
well, you would have to check me,
Yeah,
because
but see, that would be a hate crime.
all,
But
I
you
mean,
said
but
it would be a joke. So why couldn't you say it in the Amendment situation, whatever you happen to be?
I mean,
See where we
I'm
go
not,
with
I'm
this?
not worrying about white folks' right to say the N word. So that's not.
Well, okay, but it's a point to be made to other folk who are all riled up about the hate crime bit.
I
See, you
mean,
never can tell.
we. I mean, we if we are we talk. I mean, hate crimes and saying a word the way we say it is not the same thing. So I wouldn't even
Oh,
try to
what makes
compare
it
those.
different? It's the same word. See, it's a
Because
point to be made when people start talking about
because
hate crime.
people have been doing hate crimes to us for hundreds of years and ain't never
Well,
got
then do
punished.
them back. You want to
No,
do
I
them
ain't.
back.
That's not my thing.
We used to
So
run the dozens on each other for sport,
okay,
but they're too
I see
sensitive
where Joe
now to
going
get
with
off
it. I see where
now.
he's going with it.
I get.
Anyway, I didn't
Okay.
interrupt you.
I
Keep
can.
going. Keep going. Keep
I
going.
need everybody stay on your mic. If it's not your time to speak, stay on your mic. I don't want people talking over each other.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. My bad.
Go ahead, Indy.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying though, Jud. But yeah, I just wanted to see if people have been paying attention to Trump lately with his saying that he was gonna cut off disaster funding and aid to states and cities that protest Israel. Um, I just was wondering how y'all felt about that.
Political theater
You
keeps the
don't
party happy.
you
It
don't think
happens
it,
in politics. You
you
don't
don't
just
think yep.
operate in an isolation. You have a political party you're supposed to represent And there are people who have selfish, narrow-minded interests that you have to placate if you want them to do what you want them to do for something else. And
So
it's
yeah,
also something that doesn't necessarily have to come about. It's just something that gets said to shake folk up out of their complacency sometimes.
and isn't Congress in control of disaster funding and how it's dispersed anyway?
Yeah, unless it has been put in an entity or put at the discretion of the president, which sometimes happens.
Well, I I got a problem with him saying something like that, whether you think he's joking or theater or not.
Well,
Uh,
he's trying to promote something that protects so-called American foreign policy. You don't have to agree with it. A
you
lot
don't
of
you
people
don't
don't
you don't
agree
you,
with
you don't think it's got a little hint of dog whistling in there?
it. It probably does. It appeals to certain people. So
Mhm.
that's like the reparations issue for black people. You say that, and that's the dog whistle to a lot of black folk if you bring up reparations favorably. You bring up protection of Israel and you bring up protection of the people that control a lot of money. They
So
like that.
so Judge, what you think about what Trump said about the immigrants and how now he needs to make sure we keep some of them for the farmers because you got to have the best field hands. What you think he said? What you think about that? What he said when he said that?
Well, it might be true, but I mean, again, you're speaking to a certain select audience, so that's not necessarily saying what happens when Congress starts digesting everything and passing laws.
But you know what? I'm glad you just said that because you did point to the fact that when he's talking to his base, he talking to racist white people. So thank you for
He's
saying
not
that,
just
Judge. Thank you
white
for
people.
confirming
By
that.
the
That's
way,
exactly what you just
by
did.
the way,
You thank you. Thank
there
you.
are a lot of black folk that have no problem with that.
No, I know. I'm talking about what I'm talking about him right now, and
But
what you just
there are
said.
black folk I talk to every day that enjoy that. They approve of what
They
he
not
said.
they not black on the
They're
inside, so we
black
not
on
talking
the
about them.
inside. They have
No,
been
they not.
around
No, they
a
not.
lot of things
No, they
white
not.
people would piss their pants if they got put in a position of having to do. Some
We,
of them are warriors. Some of them I know have kills as snipers in the Nam, where I know one guy thinks like that. He killed 43 people, confirmed. He also did a
so
lot for the movement back in the late 60s. But he thinks that way, so he's done stuff that gives him the license to say it because he's paid his dues.
so he like racist white
It
supremacist
ain't
dog
white supremacy.
whistling.
Quit thinking white supremacy. That is a sight
No,
out
no,
there.
no. I'm asking you a
There's
question, Code. That's what we
nobody
talking
supreme
about.
to you. Get it?
No, no, no. I'm saying we talking about racist
Quit
dog
thinking
whistling.
racist white supremacy. It's been hard work that certain people who do tend that way have been putting into the mix to get you to think that way because it cripples you. It makes you feel helpless. It psychs
Well,
you
when I
out.
hear a dog whistle, it's a dog whistle. What are you
Yes, it
talking about?
is. So don't
Okay,
think that
so
way.
so what?
Don't think that way. The bugaboo of the
Don't
United States
don't
for
think that it's
about
a
70 years was communism, but that didn't stop the
so
United States being an ally of Soviet Union in World War II to get rid of Benito, Adolf, and Tojo.
so you want me to think a dog is a truck?
No, I don't want you to think a dog is a truck. Just understand it doesn't make any difference. It's wolfing. In other words, it's selling wolf tickets, and if you buy into the wolf tickets, you get psyched out. That's like Muhammad Ali when he used to fight. He'd psych his opponent out, and he
Well,
talk about I am the greatest.
when I
I
look at
built
some of
like
the
a
things that
butterfly and
he
sting
couldn't,
like a bee. See, he'd
when
psych
I look,
his opponent out, and the opponent would start believing that. And by the way, I met the man. My brother used to be his bodyguard for years. So, yeah, it's a sight game. And you see, if you know how to pull it, it's easy enough. All you got to do is get the person to start dealing with certain things that are the dog whistles, and they even can point it out, but they don't realize the dog whistle to get them to do what. See, the whole point is to make you feel powerless. So you believe in white supremacy. When you put the word supremacy in there, that means you are subconsciously perceiving yourself as inferior. So you look
Okay,
to
well,
your
can I say it?
inferior to
Is it
help you
okay to
out,
say
and
it
you
like this?
demand
The
it from
system
other
that
people.
has benefited white people and kind
Don't
of,
worry about it. Look at it as
or
an
how should you say it? What
adversary.
should we call it then? If we
It's
don't
an
call it white
adversary.
supremacy,
Whatever
what
the
should we call
adversary,
it?
whatever its ethnic nature, you can defeat it if you get yourself together, organize, and plan it out and do what you need to do to prepare. There is nothing you cannot stand up to. So when you start saying white and you put supremacy in there, you say it often enough and your subconscious accepts the words that you've been saying. The white people are supreme over you. You are inferior. That's what your subconscious is secretly saying to the rest of you. And it is self defeating. Don't even think that way. Forget those words in your vocabulary and start thinking somebody's trying to mess with me and I ain't going to let it happen. Don't depend on them not doing it to you. Just say, I dare you. And
So
then
what
make
about,
sure that when you say I dare you, you can back it up.
so the system that has treated us very differently, what would you call that?
Who gives a damn? It doesn't make any difference how it's treated. You stand up to the damn thing and back it down. That's what you
Okay,
have to do. You don't say it
okay.
is won, it is beat me down. You say, look, man, screw you. I'd say the F word, but Dana doesn't want you to say it on here. So I won't. It's like, F you do, mess with me. There are consequences. Even if you whip me, you're going to get a bloody nose and maybe some knocked out teeth. You know, that's the way life goes. So don't sit there and say white supremacy because your subconscious says, hey, I even acknowledge they're supreme to me. So that must mean I'm inferior. And every time I say it, what's the old propaganda saw? Tell a lie long enough, loud enough, you can get anyone to believe it, including a liar. So when you lie to yourself or you become truthful with yourself, where you believe this something is superior to you, it's supreme, and you have to deal with something that is supreme and dictates its supremacy to your inferiority, you have effed yourself up. You get nowhere because they have
So,
psyched you
so,
out. Quit thinking that way.
so, so you saying, so in other words, you saying don't acknowledge it at all.
No, treat it like it doesn't happen and just say, I'm going to do what I feel like doing because I'm going to prepare myself. You want to get out and run track and you got an inclination for it, you run a 9-something 100 meters, you got to work at it. And when you work at it, nobody can take it away from you because you run it. If you are a football player and you want to be able to catch passes and bring up a lot of yardage on your chart, then you learn how to catch a ball and make your moves and run your routes when you're doing it. Anything like that. You want to be able to be good at free throws, you got to practice them. You want to be good at kicking ass so nobody can be supreme to your circumstances, you got to work at it, study, read, get
But,
stuff in
but,
your
but
head,
when you
learn
shooting
and
free,
shoot,
hey,
get your John Wick on. Take
hey,
martial arts,
Judge,
develop your attitude, become knowledgeable.
hey, Judge, but when you shooting free throws, it's just you in the rim.
Yeah, that's right. But the other thing is when you're in a game, you have other players, you have adversity. You didn't do anything if there's no team for you to play.
And that system that I'm talking about, that's
I'm
against you.
talking about the system. Screw the damn system. Nobody in the system has more than one vote. You've got enough people that look like you to be able to control the system. But the jackasses who keep getting our damn votes have another agenda besides us. They are the 6B: drop belt, drop breeches, drop boxes, bend over, spread butt cheeks, get boy bang. That's what they're up to. They are not interested in what you want getting done. They will pander to you so they get in, so their little rainbow freak buddies can go butt bust them or do whatever they do on the other side. So that's what they want done because it's their new religion they're trying to impose by any means necessary. And if they can get you to think white supremacy is holding you down, that something is supreme to your inferiority, That is a good way of keeping you in check because you don't want to unify, you don't want to form coalitions, you don't want to sit across the other side of your kitchen table when you're growing up and get math, science, technology, and engineering in your soul so you can do something with it and run the world. They don't want you to do that. They want you psyched out. So don't let them
So
do it
let
to you.
me. Okay, I'm off that, but let me ask you this: so, what is it that the Republicans are doing or governing in a way that's so much better
Oh,
for
well,
me?
it's
Can
this.
you tell me that?
The way politics works is most ethnic groups in the country periodically switch parties just to mess with the other. You thought you had us, you weren't delivering what we want. So screw you, we're switching. Politics is not about loyalty to anything but the interest that you're trying to get advanced. So when one party doesn't advance your interest, you switch parties. What you do is you say, hey, if you want to get these votes so you can get to the top, then you have to do this to get my vote. What you wind up doing is a nasty situation when one party can count on your vote no matter what the hell they don't do for you, and the other party can count on never getting your vote no matter what they try. Neither party has an incentive to do a damn thing for you because you just are owned by the party that you're loyal to. And the only loyalty you should give out is to cause, to person, purpose, and agenda. And that's it.
Well, can you show me or tell me what it is these black Republicans that switched to the Republican Party
Okay, let's
and
put it
got
this
in
way.
office are doing that's so great? Can you tell me what
Okay,
that
the
is?
Democratic
They
Party
not
was,
busting it open. They ain't busting it open. I can tell you that.
let's put it this way.
Huh?
I don't know that either because I don't be
All
in
right,
that
I
room.
The
just
But
let
Democratic
them
yeah.
finish
Party
up because
was
I have
formed
to get
in
to the next speaker.
the Democratic Party was formed in the second decade of the 19th century for the specific purpose of protecting slavery and spreading it through the Louisiana Purchase.
The Dixiecrats, of
Hey,
course.
okay, 1851, the Republicans came into being when they got chartered. A specific provision of their charter is ending slavery. It was called abolition. They fought the Civil War to end slavery. They passed the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments to undo the damage to the slaves. They were the ones that tried to produce decent treatment for black folk. It was the Democrats that tried to fight the Civil War to maintain slavery, that instituted Jim Crow and segregation all through the end of the 19th century to keep the ex-slaves effectively enslaved. All through the first 50 years of the 20th century, they fought to fight anything with civil rights. The Democratic Party attacked civil rights, though a number of them who were a bit more enlightened supported it, along with Republicans almost universally. We got civil rights passed, we got voting rights passed, we got fairness in employment passed, in large part due to the Republican backing, with a few Democrats outside of the Dixiecrats. Brown v. Board of Education in 1954 was something that a Republican Chief Justice Earl Warren pushed. We've got all kinds of stuff, and now all of a sudden, because in 1960, John F. Kennedy called some Democratic Southern sheriffs and said, look, guys, I'm the Democrat. I'm one of the good old boys here. Do something about this King fella and give him a little break so we can get me in office and I can help you do what you want to do. So that's how we went out. And other than that, black folk were universally Republican. They switched. Now it's time, 65 years later, to switch back. And that's the
So
deal.
so in 2025, why is Trump removing Martin Luther King's head statue, replacing
Well,
it
he
with Winston
talked about it.
Churchill?
I heard him. I was present in the room when he spoke on it. He's moving it to a section that's going to be out on the White House lawn where they will have statues. He's going to
Hmm.
add one of Malcolm X. He's going to add one of Muhammad
I
Ali.
don't want no damn statues,
Excuse me.
Judge.
He's not. You
Hold
said,
on, hold
why
on,
is
hold
he
on. You just
removing it?
asked about a statue.
You
Now you saying
said,
you don't want a statue.
why is he removing it from the
Right,
White
that's
House?
exactly what I said.
Because
Did you hear what
he's
my
going
question
to
was?
put it with a statue of Malcolm X, one of Martin Luther King. Well, bring Martin Luther King's out there, put Malcolm X's out there,
What's that? What's that
put,
gonna do for us as a
put
group?
Frederick Douglass out there, put Muhammad Ali's out there, put Jack Johnson's out there, put Joe
Okay.
Lewis's out there, put Jackie Robinson's out there, and that's part
Symbolic
of
statue.
something about equalizing the respect that black folk get.
All
He's
right,
down
I,
there
I gotta
all the
move on to
I'd
the
time,
rather
next
Jody,
have
speaker.
health
but you
care.
see, you bought into this bullshit
I'd rather
rhetoric
have health
far
care than the
left is
statue.
talking about.
Let
He's
let
taking Martin
let
Luther
let
King's
let
statue out of the
let him
rack.
talk.
Yeah, he said that.
Bitch, are you fucking stupid?
He said that clear, but he's putting it somewhere else with a lot more black statues that aren't anywhere on the premises right now. So that's showing respect. He's the one that pardoned Jack Johnson, who he, since most folk don't know, used to be Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, and everybody else wrapped up into one for black folk. And Barack Obama, boy, wouldn't pardon him.
All
He
right,
was kicking shit.
I need to get to another speaker. I need to get
So
to.
anyway, yeah, there's some things that are happening. Go get off of the slave plantation and expand your horizons. You don't get owned by anybody. Your loyalty is to advantage. And what you can do is convince the Republican Party by your participation, hey, we came in. If you want us to leave and go back to these sissified rainbow fools, okay, fine. We will. But right now, you have a chance to do something for us like you're doing with everybody else that supports you. It's a bargain. We are giving you the votes. You're giving us what we demand. Now, that's a fair exchange. It's a bargain. That's
All right,
how you work it.
I need to get to Cleveland Bishop Doc, Magnetti, Nikki, and Monica, and then that'll be it. Breadman, I know you came back up. I know Corey, he requested to come back up, but I may swing around and get back to you guys a second time, but I doubt it. So Cleveland is next. And I need somebody to drop down if you already spoken so I could bring El Hotep up. Oh, he left. I don't know. Cleveland, are you still?
Can I go after Cleveland, Dana, please, just real quick after Cleveland?
Oh, wait, hold on. I have to bring him back up. I don't know why you people keep dropping down. Like, just stay in line. Go ahead, Cleveland. And then I'll swing back to you, Shay. Cleveland, where you at?
Can I take his time?
No. Go ahead, Cleveland.
There we go. I'm sorry about that. Was waiting for everyone to finish. I won't be too long. Just want to say I appreciate the platform. This is my first time on here. I think the main thing, if anything, is to, not you guys, but to stay on topic and listen to what's being said. Judge Joe Brown, appreciate you, and also your views. And one thing I do is listen closely. And every time you spoke, you stayed on topic as a judge should, so you definitely appreciate your views and everything or whatnot. And but going to speak on the Cincinnati situation. I stay in the Cincinnati area, and just to keep an eye on, I would say every civil issue, that especially the ones that we're talking about, black versus everything, or however we want to put it. We really have to look at every individual situation case by case. For example, the Cincinnati, what they call the brawl. It really wasn't much of a brawl. It was very antagonistic.
What happened?
Also,
Okay.
oh, there we go. My phone had timed out. Um, it's just amazing to me how how the media just like to keep certain things in light that either I wouldn't say that we're past, but that surpassed the situation and the facts that actually stand in those situations. But I would say, that let's keep the big picture, like in mind, like while we're having these conversations. This is my first time chiming in. I appreciate it. I didn't even know, like, these platforms, these um topics were even going off this late at night, abroad. So I would say, keep up, Miss Dana. Like the platform. I'll be back again. Thanks for the invite, Pastor. And Judge Joe Brown. Just want to say, thanks for your input and, just sticking around with the common folks and especially to the fact that no question is too small.
Yeah.
And
Thank
going to happen.
I appreciate you, Cleveland. One second,
Thank
Brett.
you. Thank you much.
One second, Brett. Man, I dropped you down because I had to make room for El Hotep, and you spoke twice, so I dropped you down for that reason. So I don't want you to take any offense to it. And so it's going to be Bishop Dot Magnetti, Nikki, Monica, and El Hotep. Here be the last speaker, Bishop. And thank you, Cleveland. Appreciate you coming up. Go ahead, Bishop.
Thank you very much. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Awesome. Dana, Judge, it's good to be back again. I was here one time before. Dana, I reached out to you so I could get the judge's information, but I don't know if I did something wrong. I didn't get a response from you, so
I
I'm
didn't
hoping
see
I can connect
nothing.
with you on that.
I didn't see anything.
Oh, okay.
Let
Well,
me
I followed you. We'll work it out. I just want to say, Judge,
wait. Hold
it's
on.
always
How
good.
did you reach? Because I don't see a message from you on X.
It wouldn't allow me, I think, because of the fact that I don't have a check mark yet, it wouldn't allow me to message you. So
I just sent you a message saying testing. So I don't know if you're good.
okay. I'll check it out here shortly. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Judge, it's always good to hear you. Been following you for a lot of years. Very quickly, I saw that you had Texas up in the top here. I want to know what your thoughts are concerning the Democrats. I live in Texas. Um, I came in just when you were talking about the Democratic Party and their goals. This exodus that they've done, from a judicial standpoint, what grounds do they have, if any, to be able to accomplish the goal that they think that they're going to attempt? That's a question that a lot of people have called me. I've talked with a lot of other clergy about it. And just as you were telling the young man earlier, we've got to quit thinking in the fact of what's happened in the past versus what's happening now and what we can do to change it.
Okay.
And if we don't get out of the mentality that we have, we're not going to be able to get out of the situation. I'm sure you heard of the black fatigue, that people are getting tired of seeing all of the incidents that are happening with all this violence compared to the black community. So along with that, my main question is this Democratic exodus. What do you think about that?
Okay.
And Dana, I'll get back with you on that. But Judge, I just wanted to say that, and then I'm going to step out and just listen. Thank you all so much.
Reverend, I'd say this. It's just like you can't put a Christian cross in a church, in a school or a government building, but you can put the rainbow symbol in there. What's happening right now is somebody is trying to install a new cult, a new religion. Think Buddhism, where there's no God to Buddhism, but it's an ancient and honorable religion that can have any God. It's the same thing with the rainbow thing. They're trying to put this new religion as the official religion of the United States by any means necessary. The Democratic Party has become trapped as the primary instrument to accomplish this. We do them no favors by supporting that because it disrupts normalcy, healthiness, it disrupts everything that humanity has stood for, because this cult is for the negation of those character elements that all religions and all cultures have held sacrosanct. Now, that being said, we owe nothing to anyone except when we achieve a political advantage in supporting them. We have been captured by a party, the Democratic Party, that has an expertise that is unmatched anywhere in the world in managing slaves. It did it for a long time. It managed the Negroes who were no longer slaves, but still in a subservient position. And they're putting that expertise to work to keep people supporting Rainbow rather than King Cotton. And it's poisonous to black folk. We have to do something about it. What has gone on is that the party has counted on this loyalty and has put people in who do not represent the individuals that are voting Democrat. It represents this rainbow cult. The Black Caucus in Congress is almost invariably also a simultaneous member of the Liberty Caucus, which is that for LGBTQIA. They are not representing black folk. And if we had a bunch of black elected officials of the same number that we have in the Black Caucus, we would have a totally different national perspective on legislation that would be favorable to black folk. But we don't, because we support the wrong people. We have to stop thinking like we have a loyalty to them. Meanwhile, on the home front, preachers, we need to start preaching about sin and wrongdoing. Belief is not enough. You cannot be a pimp, hoe, drug dealer, murderer, thief, whatever in the devil you want to be and get to heaven. Belief is not sufficient. The belief is to engender a certain acceptable standard of behavior. We have gotten away from that, and that is a product of 50 years of inculcation of dysfunction into this society by people who have captured the industry of communications, entertainment, and politics to a great extent. It is not healthy, and it is our responsibility as citizens of this country to change that around, because there's a dictate we all need to be aware of. In a country and system like ours, we get the representation we deserve. And if the representation is crap, that's because the people deserve it, because they've been behaving like crap. It's time for us to stop behaving that way and start acting like we are men and women in charge of our own destinies, rather than feeling helpless, set upon, and victimized, and start getting psyched out and feeling inferior because we bought into that mantra. It's time for us to stand up, man up, woman up, protect childhood and womanhood, and we need to do what we need to do to advance. Now, that said, maybe that answered your question, maybe it piques your interest.
No, actually, it answers my question. And actually, I'm glad that you said that, especially when you were talking about the clergy needing to preach it more. When I was here the last time, I mentioned something about God, and people jumped all over me because of the fact that I mentioned Christianity. So I preach just what you're talking about. We've supported the wrong party. That the Democratic Party does not have the interests of our people in hand. As you have indicated, the history has shown and proven that they have not supported us as a people. However, they are masterful at getting us to act the way that they want us to act by gaslighting us with certain phrases, as you were talking about earlier, the white supremacists. They have gotten us into a mindset to where we react exactly the way that they want us to. It's like it's a huge psych op. And even though we preach the word and we preach what needs to change, people don't want to accept that, especially our people, because they're so ingrained in acting in an inappropriate way on a regular basis that we are not able to change ourselves as a whole people. And so we're not going to be successful because our mindset is all wrong. And so I'm glad that you said it. I wanted other people to hear it from you, because there are clergy. Now, there's a lot of clergy out here that are raggedy, and God is taking care of them. He's exposing them. They're going to jail for many different offenses in the church. And I'm glad to see this. But what really disappoints me is the way that our people are receiving that and how they're reacting to it. I'm praying, and I will continue to preach on just what you were saying. We need to start thinking for ourselves. We need to start looking at the history, and we need to quit playing into the hands of those who do not represent this country. They represent their own self-interest. They make money off of us. They keep us down because of through our minds. It's a mind thing. And as long as they continue to do that, and as long as we allow them to continue doing that, we are not going to progress. People complain about what's happening, but they will not change themselves in order to move progressively toward a better goal that will increase our capacity, increase our position in this country, because we're fighting against the wrong people. So that's all I have to say there. Thank you all so much. I look forward to coming back next week, and I'll listen from here. Thank you.
Amen, Reverend.
Thank you, Bishop.
I want to say something to Reverend.
Oh, go ahead, Shay.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so United States is God we trust, and it's Christianity, and the Catholic Church is involved in everything. So why did they have to pass a law for the church and religion to be involved in politics?
They did.
Now, I know another pastor here in New York who ran for mayor, and they cheated. The Board of Election cheated all of us who ran for mayor and other positions in New York City. They stole paperwork. Paperwork disappeared. And these are people who are grounded, who want to make change, and who is experienced in the lifestyle of politics and church, religion, and tradition. And so his name is Pastor Manning. He's being penalized. He was my pastor. But I'm saying that to say that it's like there is a hate and a pushback for people who want to do the right thing and who plans to change the country. Even though we're not going to give up, but it's like a hate, and we don't want you, and we want who we want in office. Meanwhile, the country is going to stark hell, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you.
If you don't mind, Judge and Dana, I'd like to respond to that.
Go right ahead, Bishop.
You're absolutely right, young lady. I have a lot of family who live in New York, the Bronx, family on my father's side. So I'm familiar with the East Coast politics. Now, the reason why they allow politics back into the churches is because the mainstream media keeps putting out information that is false, incorrect, misleading, and dividing of the nation. That's what they do. People today, as you said, are trying to find how to take and change things, how to make things better. And there's a lot of people that understand that if you have a relationship with God and with Christ, that you're starting at the right point. But it's always going to be an uphill battle. And I'll go back to scripture. Jesus said, they don't like me, and they certainly aren't going to like you. So for pastors like us, and the pastor that you mentioned, if we go out, or when we go out, and we run for office, from a Christian perspective,
I think
people
you
don't
need to
like
be
us.
specific. You need to be specific when you say that. They persecuted me, so they will.
Well, I can't, Nick. Monica, can you please stay on your mic? Go ahead, Bishop.
So when they put politics in, and we go and run for office, the first thing they're going to do is attack the fact that we are coming from a perspective that a lot of people don't want to come from. They don't care about the Bible. A lot of people don't believe that there's a higher power. But what a lot of people don't realize is what we're fighting in this world right now is pure evil. The Bible says the fight is not within the flesh, but with powers and principalities. This is a spiritual warfare. This is spiritual war. That's a different perspective from what people see and understand these days. But the devil knows what can come out of that. And he knows that if he keeps us separated, and that if we do not come together, then he's won already. There's a bigger prize that's here.
So explain what is spiritual war? Like explain it.
Well, that's
because
not
people
the
don't
topic.
understand this.
We're not going down that yellow brick road. And this is the second time, Monica. You need to stay on your mic. Bishop has the floor. Go ahead, Bishop. You can finish up.
Yeah, I'll finish up very.
It's a double mute. Go ahead. Can you hear us?
Oh, I'm sorry. Shucks.
Oh, were you
Forgot to
done?
unmute myself. No, I was just gonna say this one last thing. We are fighting against the wrong enemy. We are fighting against each other. We shouldn't, that's not the enemy. The enemy is Satan. And the Democratic Party, their ways indicate that that's who they serve because they don't want the continuity they say they do. They don't want things to be equal or fair. They are operating on the fact of division and keeping us on the plantation, as the judge has said before.
And the Republicans do.
Look, it's on both sides. Don't get me wrong.
Oh well, you need to clarify that when you say
Well,
something like that.
listen, see, that's the problem. Okay. I'm talking about what the Democrats are doing. There's rhino Republicans, people who say that they're Republicans. They're not. But that's what I'm saying. You see the division already? Okay. The fight's not with the Democrats and the Republicans. The fight is against Satan. How do we fight him? By prayer, by working together, and understanding the Bible. And that can be easily done if you want to do it.
Well,
If you
politicians
don't,
are demons, so they work for Satan. Politicians.
Exactly.
Get rid of politicians. They're absolutely necessary to the human condition. Anytime you have more
I'm
than
not
three
saying don't
people.
get rid of them. I'm just saying they're demonic. It's what because they lie, they cheat. All politicians are liars. So, but I hear what Bishop is saying. For we the people, aside politics is really basically for me. And then I'm gonna move on to Doc. The people need to start believing that we actually have more power if we all work together. But a lot of people don't believe that and they don't realize that, they don't understand that. They think that it's the politicians that hold all the power. And it's really we the people, and that's part of the main thing of the Constitution, we the people. All right, I'm gonna go. Is Doc still up here? Doc? No. Oh yes. Go ahead, Doc.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Outstanding. Thank you, Ms. Dana. Thank you, Judge Brown. I've been sitting here listening for about the last hour and a half. Enjoyed the discussion, and I didn't want to depart without thanking you both for running a hell of a space. My friends spoke earlier about Dexter's case, and I'm not going to get into that. I just wanted to tell everybody we're having a live streamed concert on Saturday night, 9 to 11 Eastern. Joe's going to be handling the stream. There's a few other folks that are going to be restreaming it, and you're all invited. It'll be a good time. We're going to raise some awareness for Dexter's case and have some fun. Thanks a lot, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Um, Mag Nettie, did I say it right?
It's magnetite, Mike.
Oh, Magna Titan. Okay.
Magnetite.
Anyways, guys, this whole fucking race war that is coming on is about
Can you
whites and
please
what.
abstain from saying the F word? Thank you.
My apologies. This whole deal with the whites versus blacks, it's silly because it's all engineered. It has been engineered for the past 40, 50 years. We do not need to follow this. Do not need to follow the rails that have been put down before us to hate each other or to have conflict with each other, because we really all and essentially love each other. We're all, sons and daughters of Christ. And we don't need to fucking, or excuse me, we don't need to hate each other. But we can only do so much in this country. Understood. With all the people that are coming in, and how many people are in this country, but with the world, considering the world is that the world is going pretty crazy right now, and we can consider certain places to be really wild and hateful and homicidal. That geez, I think we need to hold fast with each other, and we need to hold each other strong. And when it comes down to it, it's our neighbors, man. It's not like, when it comes down to it, we need to hold our neighbors strong and keep each other up. So that's it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me just say this one quick thing.
Go
I
ahead.
hear you when you're saying that we should all love each other. I don't love everybody, and respect is earned. But when I do enter somebody's home or space, I do come with respect, and that's most importantly. But I don't love everybody.
Okay, so question to you: when you see
But that don't
somebody else,
mean I hate people. I don't hate, but I don't love everybody.
understand, love is earned, hate is earned. Do you agree?
Mm, well, I want earn hate is earned, or sometimes hate is just given. But yeah, it's
So
I don't.
what do you mean hate is given? Like, if
If somebody does something that's very demonic, you may hate that
so,
person. Or
yeah,
I
it's
hate
earned.
I hate
They earn it.
cancer.
They earn the hate.
But you hate something, like I hate cancer. So cancer didn't earn my hate. It's something
That's
that is not good,
that's not a
that
person though.
harms
That's
people.
not a person.
Exactly. It's not a person, but the feeling of hate, just like the feeling of love. I don't love everybody and everything. That doesn't mean I hate it.
Yeah,
But when
but
you said that we should all love each other,
no,
I'm just being
I
more
said hate is
realistic to
earned and
where,
love is earned. It's earned. It's not given. Well, I said it's given too, but it is essentially earned though. You understand? You agree,
but
right?
you just said we should love each other.
Well, yeah. I
But
mean,
but then you said
essentially,
it's
we should
earned.
love each other. But if somebody says they love you and
But
then
why
they
should I
hate
love
you,
you? Why? Okay, why should I love you?
be- because you're human, and
But you
you're
said
you're
two things.
you're a
You said
beautiful
we should.
female.
No, but you said two things. You said we should love each other, but then you said love is earned. So again, why should I love you if you haven't earned it?
Mm. Uh, maybe because of
Powerful. The
oh, go ahead, Joe.
humanity has as a society to help the other members of the society, not because you get anything from it, but because it's the right thing to do. In other
But
words,
that doesn't mean I love it. That doesn't mean I love you.
well, no, but you act like it. You never can tell what
You don't love
somebody is
everybody.
thinking. You
So
have
I'm
to
just
So,
deal with
lady,
speaking
how
from
lady,
a
they behave.
realistic. Everybody up here, I don't love people that came up here because I don't know you. So,
Yeah.
so
but
lady, if
I
I see
can
you on the street,
respect you.
if I see you on the street, I will smile at you with my eyes, and I will smile with my eyes. I won't hate you with my eyes. I will smile with my eyes. Doesn't matter what skin color you are. I will look at you and smile with my eyes. And I will walk past you or engage in conversation or anything. But
Would
say
you give
like,
me money if I asked you for money?
of course, if you
Really?
ask me for $1 or five
No, I'm
dollars
not. No,
or
but if I asked you for a hundred
how money
dollars,
would you ask me for?
a
What's
hundred
your
dollars.
question? What is your question?
Okay, if I asked you for $100, would you give it to me?
I would be like, I would smile at you with my eyes, and I'd be like, "What do you need $100 for?
Because I need it. I'm broke.
For what?
I'm broke.
Oh, you're broke for $100.
And you said you love me,
Well, of course, because you're human.
and I
But
need
what
something
do
to
you need a
eat. I
hundred
need to
dollars
feed
for?
my
Because
kids. And if you love me and
oh,
you
for your
got it
kids.
when you give it to me,
Well, maybe I don't have $100. What if I give you $5? Would you be
Okay,
okay with that?
no, right. If you don't have 100 and you got 5, fine. But what if you had 100? Would you give it to me?
Maybe I needed that 100 for something else and not for you. But would you
But
be
see, now
okay
you
with that?
see how your love
Well,
come with
would you? No,
stipulations.
no, because you're not okay with that. You're not okay with me
I'm
giving
okay with.
the money
I asked you
that
for
I
a
need
hundred,
for something else and not for you. If
but
if
you
I
love
if
me.
I if I needed the money for me, no, see, you're not okay with that. So here's the thing:
Who
is
said I
that
wasn't okay
that
with it?
Well, this is
we
ridiculous.
need to be okay with each other. We need to be black, white, Indian, Asian, fucking what the fuck ever. Fucking,
Stop
we're all
saying the F.
humans.
Stop
We
saying the
need
F.
to be
Stop saying
good
the
with
F
each other.
bomb. Why is it so hard for you to not say the F? Stop saying the F. I think it's hard for you to not say it. Just don't say it because I am on YouTube. So if I ask you for 100 and you saying you love and you have it to give, why is it then you start putting stipulations on it? And that's what I'm saying. Like,
Because
we
you're
don't love
probably
each
gonna
other.
scam me. I don't fucking. Oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh, I do not trust the people that
Black
are
people. Black
peddling on
people.
the
Say
street.
it.
Wait,
Say it.
Indy, I need for you to. I need people who. Please, everybody, mute up. It's not your time to speak. Go ahead. I want to call you magnetic for some reason, but go ahead, Mag.
Yeah, it's magnetite, but that's
Magnetite. Go ahead,
yeah. There
magnetite.
you go. Um, well, you know what? I've been scammed a bunch. I've been caught by grifters and I've been seduced by them. So you know what? I have little trust for strangers, and
So then, how can you
that's the
love
thing.
people then?
I love people,
How
but
can you love people that scammed you?
I do. I do. And you know what? Here's the thing: is you can ask questions. You can question people without uh, getting hated, or well, you can question people with getting hated. You know, it's but you. Here's the thing: is that you can question people's asking. Is if
But
somebody
okay, so
asks you
here's the
for
thing.
$100, you can ask them why they need it. That's
Okay, so here's the thing though. This is why, the only reason why I'm going down this yellow brick road is the whole thing of theory that we should love everyone, because this is why we don't love everyone, because I asked you and I was honest and I was upfront. Hey, can you give me $100 if you have it? And you saying even if you have it, you will ask me what I need it for, and then you will say,
and
well,
you
I
didn't
may
tell
need
me.
it for.
You didn't
Wait,
tell
let
me
me
though.
finish. Let
You
me
didn't tell
finish
me
though.
what
Let
it
me
was for.
let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. So you go around and you will smile with your eyes. You have love in your heart for everybody. So if you love me and I ask you for 100 and you have the 100 to give, you will ask me, why do you need it? Well, and then you go on to say, I may need it for XYZ, right?
Mm.
But you just admitted that you are cautious because you have been scammed before. People try to manipulate you, yada, yada, yada. But
Yeah,
here
I've
I am
seen
being
demons.
upfront.
I
Let me
have
finish.
seen demons.
Let me finish. Let me finish. But here, so you have been traumatized with bad experiences because when a person who is genuine and upfront and honest and telling you what the deal is, you can't receive that. So if you really love people, then you will not be afraid and open yourself up to see that this person is being upfront with me. So I'm going to give with love and give them what they ask for.
That's true. That's true, and that's why I've learned that is that you know if I'm gonna give money, it's instantly. You know, it's not like I'm gonna have an argument with somebody and give them money. I'm gonna see somebody and I'm just gonna give them money instantly, and it's not
No,
gonna be
why
$100.
would you trust
But
somebody like
I'm
that?
not
Like,
gonna
I
fucking
need everybody
argue
to
with
stay
somebody.
on their mic.
you know when
I love you.
you know when
I
you
love you.
speak.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mag.
Oh, okay.
Magnetite.
Well, I
What
mean,
was you saying?
I think everybody should, black, white, Indian, American, you know, whoever your race is, you know, what everybody needs to do is they need to, if they don't already, they need to buy a gun They need to learn how to use the gun. They need to learn how to clean the gun, and they should buy ammo, because this is important, because what's coming is going to be the world is coming after America. So
Hmm.
we all
So, and
need
here's let me also
we
say
need to
this. Go
love
ahead.
each other, because we are gonna be allies. Okay,
No, we're not.
everybody.
No, we're not. Because and here's why
Oh,
we're
you're gonna
not.
be.
Right. Here's why we're not. Here's why we're not. Love is an action. Love is not a feeling for me
Oh,
So
anyway.
you,
And
how
that,
do you
and that's how Monica, I'm about to drop you down because you just not comprehending. Give me a second.
no, you're
I'm not
sowing
I'm
division.
not going I'm not going I can't and then you sound tipsy, honey. So just take a break. So love is an action. It's not a feeling. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about nobody's feelings except for, you know, children because they're the most vulnerable. But other than that, when you talk about love, we're not allies. Love is an action. So I asked you for $100. Now let's put that to being allies in politics. If you love me, then you're going to stand by me and my fight for whatever justice that me and my people are seeking. Are
Not if
you
you're
willing to
being
do?
a
Are
fucking
you
cunt.
willing to do that?
He's
If you're
talking
being a
about
cunt, then
agape
I'm not gonna
love
give you
Let me and
$100.
Judge, let me and him
Okay.
speak, please.
You're talking about agape love, as the Greeks put it, which is love for all mankind.
Yeah, and I don't have love for all mankind. But go ahead, Magnetite.
Really, you're super aggressive. You're super duper
That's
aggressive.
fine. I could be aggressive. That's
That's fine.
fine.
No, it is fine.
You think I'm aggressive because you feel like you're being painted in a
No, but I
corner.
mean, no, absolutely not. Like if I'm walking by you and you ask me for $100, I'll be like, oh shit, uh, I don't know you, so I'm gonna walk by you and go on with my day, and
Mhm.
then you're
So what
caught
happened to the
you're caught
love?
up on that.
That's
You're
not
caught up on.
necessarily a demonstration of love to
So
be
what No, no, no.
foolish
But see,
when it comes to
Judge,
your fight.
let me and him have the conversation. Like I
Referee.
don't need an understanding. I don't need to understand it. I don't. I'm really making a point. I'm making a point when people say we all need to love each other. We all need to get on. No, we don't. And I'm saying we don't.
Who
I'm not
who who
I
do you
don't need
not
an
want to love?
understanding. I don't
Who
need an
who
explanation. I'm telling you we don't need to love each other.
who are your enemies and who are your allies? That
Exactly. You could be my enemy.
Okay? So am I your enemy and who are your allies?
I don't hold myself and my community and whoever is down for me.
So
So
what
I
if
don't
I lived in your
again,
community?
again,
What if
again,
I
the point, hold on. The point I'm trying to make here is when people get up here and they say we should all love each other, that's BS. You don't love people you don't know or who haven't earned it. You're not an ally unless you actually show some type of some type of unity or commitment to that said person or that community or that said group is all in your actions. I don't care what you say.
$100
And
buys
this
you
and this is
buys me
how
in? Okay.
this is how I am with whether it's relationships, business, politics. I don't care what you say. I look at your deeds and what you're doing. So miss me with the I love you, but you have the last word because I have to move to Nikki. Go ahead, Magnetite.
Okay. Um well, you know what? I that was a fruitless conversation, and I just want to say that, you know, if we can get past the engineered hate that the global government is trying to do to us with getting whites to hate blacks and blacks to hate whites and all the things, and also with um the uh replacement migration that is happening in all of Western countries, then maybe we can have another conversation. So
No, we cannot.
thank you
And I
so
think that was a
much.
very
Thank you so
fruitful.
much for this conversation. I so
Yeah,
appreciate it.
it was very
And I
fruitful for
love you.
me, even
I
though it was
love you
fruitless for
so
you.
much. I love you.
I get
You
what you're
don't.
saying,
You
sir.
don't. And yet, oh, hold on, Judge, for a second before you start, shucking and jiving up here. So here's where I'm coming from with this: is the fact is that you just displayed how you loving everybody is just bullshit, and it is. So the fact is that if you cannot show a person with your deeds, and you saying that you're gonna smile with your eyes and all that other bullshit, I really don't care. I look at what are you doing? I don't care what you say. I care about what you are doing. And just because you don't love doesn't mean you hate. Hate to For someone to hate you, that's somewhat of a badge of honor, because that is earned. That takes a lot of time and initiative to hate. I don't even give people that privilege to even hate them. That is a privilege to a certain degree. So you're not even worth me
Are
hating,
you
let alone
retarded? Did
loving.
you not hear what I said? I mean,
I'm
this
not talking about you. And so you need to stop being so sensitive. Stop being sensitive. Stop thinking that this is above you. I'm making my point when people want to say lead with love. No. And when people say that, that's how I know they're full of shit. But thank you. And I want to go to Nikki. Go ahead, Nikki. It's a W mute, Nikki.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I had some points to make a little bit earlier to the guy that was talking about the statues, but the conversation went in another direction. So I'm just gonna go in the direction that
Well,
the
go for it. You have the
conversation is
floor.
going in.
You have the floor. Go for it.
How you doing, Judge?
All
And
right.
how you doing, Dana?
Hello.
Um, I wanted to say to Magnetite, I guess that's the way that you pronounce his name, is that it's just so amazing to me how people like him come into spaces like this and push the kumbaya and the love all, but you don't go into your own spaces with white people and tell them that they should love everybody and that they should treat black people right and that they should love us and that they should do that they should participate in justice for us. See, I always say
don't
this
tell
to
me what
people
to
that,
do.
excuse me.
Don't tell me what to do. You think
She's
Well,
I'm not doing that?
you no, you need to mute up because she was muted when you were talking, so don't
mhm.
interrupt her time.
Cool.
You can
Right.
you can
I
rebuttal when
appreciate
she's
that. No
finished.
problem. No
You
problem.
can rebuttal when she's finished.
Right. And so I'm not telling you what to do, Magnetite. It's just a suggestion. How about if you want kumbaya and you want peace and love for all, how about you preach this to your people?
He may. You
Okay.
don't know that he doesn't. Don't make that assumption.
Well, I'm just making a suggestion.
Okay.
Okay, because a lot of people that do this, Judge, they do it amongst us, but they don't go amongst their own people and talk to them about racism, and they don't go amongst their people and talk about issues that involve black people, and they don't sit at the table on Thanksgiving and say, you know what, I really don't think those black people were treated right when this happened. They always come amongst us and tell us how much we should love. And the question is, where has that gotten black Americans in this country? Because we have loved everybody so much that we stay on the bottom. Because we love everybody, we preach what would Jesus do and don't delineate because we got to love everybody. And where are we at on the racial wealth gap? We're on the bottom of the racial wealth gap. Okay, we're at the back of the line. We have took so many steps to the back of the line for the LGBTQ community, for the immigrants, for everybody else but ourselves that have been tagging along and piggybacking off of our civil rights movements, off of our affirmative action. And Magnetite, This is where we're at right now because we have loved everybody. I want to say that the Black Americans have loved everybody to death, so much to the point of our own detriment, Magnetite. We're the most loving people in America. As a matter of fact, when things go wrong, they look to Black Americans to love them. The immigrants that got to leave, they're asking for our help right now. Oh, what about the Black people? Are they going to say anything about us? You know, they're treated wrong. We're in the same boat as them. Only when it's convenient for them. See, everybody want us to love when it's convenient for them, but nobody wants to show us love. So I'm just gonna end and get off the mic by saying I think we're the most loving people in America.
May I respond?
Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to say that, uh, from the last few months of local and national news, that is, you know, very possible. But from what I'm saying is that let's not hate each other to the extent of machetes and Molotovs. Let's not want to kill each other. We can have our
Are you
differences.
talking to the Proud Boys about
Wait,
that?
let her respond, Nikki. Let her respond, then you can respond back.
Let's have our differences, of course, and let's discuss them. Let's have them. And if we have historical views on what has happened to your people and my people, or doesn't really matter, is like we are here right now. So let's
When you
hold
get
on,
the
hold on,
Proud
hold on,
Boys
hold
to
on,
the
Yeah,
hold
table,
on,
let him finish.
hold on.
Let him finish.
Let's let's have a civilized conversation of what hurts us, and what makes us happy, and
So us talking about what y'all did to us is uncivilized. Okay.
What are you gonna do
What
about
the
it? What are you
fuck?
gonna
I
do
just
about it?
said everybody
What are you
stay on
gonna
your
do about
mic.
it?
Let him finish what he was saying so Nikki
Yeah.
can respond.
um I'm not a part of the slave trade, okay, guys? Okay? The slave trade was the Jews, okay? I am partial English, partial Scotland, partial fucking Syrian, okay,
Can
guys?
you stop
I have
with the F
no
word? Like
fucking part in the slave trade,
you need
okay?
to
You guys
practice to
need to
stop with
fucking
the F
fuck
word.
off with that fucking.
Okay. Can't do it. Can't do it. You can't control your goddamn mouth. But then you want to talk about we should love each other when you can't even show respect of not saying the F word. It has nothing to do with your race. It doesn't. It doesn't. Because I deal with people of all races that, that just can't help themselves. You just can't help yourself, Magnetite. You just can't help yourself. And I would have loved the dialogue, but you going off the deep end, honey. So I'm going to just go to El Hotep. But Nikki, did you did have the floor, so you get the last word. You Nikki, did you want to?
I think it was a double mute.
Yeah.
No, I was just basically responding by saying I would be happy to sit at the table. Once you get the people that really are involved in hate groups like the Aryan Nation, like the Proud Boys, like the current Klansmen, if you get all them people at the table, then yeah, we can have a conversation. But I don't believe you'll be able to pull those type of people, the ones who are really hating, because we need to really target those who are really participating in hate groups.
Okay. Um, El Hotep. And 1 second, El Hotep. Thank you to Terminator. He sent in another super chat. He says, Judge Joe Brown is a rock star. I loved him on Alex Jones 2 weeks ago. Thank you so much. And the judge thanks you. Go ahead, El Hotep.
Oh, hello, Dana. How's it going?
Good.
Judge, what's up? How you doing?
All right, sir.
Um, that's good. I just wanted to comment on something real quick. I'm gonna change the conversation because I don't want to really go too deep into what was just talked about, but I do want to talk about this. I think this governor's race in California that's going to come up soon is going to be very interesting. I think a lot of people should pay attention to it. Um, Even though Kamala Harris isn't going to be a candidate, I think had she had decided to run, I think I think she would have lost. But I do think it would have been a very interesting race, and it would have been a lot for the Democrats. I do think a Democratic candidate would have ultimately had won, but I do think it would have been it just would have been a very interesting race, and it would have been a lot to prove for them. And I think a lot of people do need to pay attention to this upcoming race, regardless of who ends up entering the race and who ends up winning, because going into 2026 and to 2028, it's going to be a lot to prove for both parties. Um, California is a big state. It sets the trend for a lot of the things that happens nationally. Um, so I think that's going to be a race to pay attention to. Um, I, I will comment on it. The last speaker who was just talking about all that love bullshit. Um, I don't like when people like I agree with you, Dan. I don't like when people start commenting on stuff like that, saying they love this and they love that. We all should get along and we all should just love on each other, because at the end of the day, there's some people who mean well, but if their actions aren't aligned with their heart and a lot of the things that they want to pursue and what they want to leave behind for the future, a lot of that love stuff is just bullshit. So it's for me, it's more aligned with what your actions, and how you live your day to day life. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Hotep. Um, it's four people requesting, and we're going on 1 o'clock. We actually went over because we go from 9 to 12, and we actually went an hour over. So over 3 hours, and I only like to do it to three. So I don't know. I think this was a good conversation. I think this is a good time to close out. What do you think, Judge?
Close it out.
So listen, thank you everybody. For coming on. This was a great space. Thank you to all of the speakers. Appreciate you guys. All of the listeners, everybody on YouTube listening, everybody in the YouTube chat, and Terminator, you are officially tonight's sponsor here on YouTube. So thank you guys, and I want everybody to have a wonderful week. I will be going live tomorrow on YouTube at The Real Dana, and then Judge has Injustice for All on Thursdays. So, and then the Judge does this his X Space every Tuesday. So looking forward to see you guys next week. And you have the floor, Judge.
Okay. Hey, hang in there. It's not easy. There are no easy solutions. If somebody offers an easy solution, they're lying to you and they're trying to pimp you. It takes hard work, application, preparation, and a lot of studying and a lot of courage and bravery. So have at it and have a nice week.
Are you going to say that you love us?
Well, in one sense, for love of all mankind, manly deed, scholarship, and love of all mankind. All right, yeah. That's a hypothetical thing. In other words, it's dedication to the interest of humanity. It's not saying that it is outside of the agape thing, which is the love of the principle involved. It does not necessarily descend into the amours thing or another form of love that is out there, which is particular to an individual because it is built up. It's a hypothetical. That said, do the right thing. And another word for the love that was being talked about is called ethics. Always be ethical in your conduct towards other people. Now, that's the last I have to say today. I've run out of things to say. Ciao.